Ciao nice people! Welcome on the new stream of Katawa Shoujo. Today is Sunday again, and we are back onto, well, anime girls game. As any other, well, not as any other, but anime girls nevertheless. So, it's a long time I don't make 2 streams in a row after a week. Usually I skipped a week in the last 3 streams or something like that, so we are back on track, hopefully. So what did happen last time? Context. It's called context. So, last time we stayed with Lily. Let's say Lily was casting some magic. Usually you need a wand to cast this specific sort of magic, but she did it without a wand. So that's pretty nice from her own, right? Also, she kinda put a blindfold on us, so that it's complicated, okay? I'm not explaining what happened because would probably go against the guidelines of Twitch. Last time we also discovered that there may be a... She's not telling everything to us, she still has a problem. The weird thing is, she got upset when, by mistake, she fell down. Caused by Kenji. And also, at some moments, she feels distant, as the last dialogue here. We don't know, maybe it's something with her parents, because they abandoned her when at a young age. So maybe she's still considering something about it. Maybe we are secretly siblings. No, I'm kidding. Well, I feel like there's only one way to know. First though, maybe I should move the avatar slider on the left. Oh, okay, way better. Okay, so this is the day after, or the evening after? I don't know, wait. Yeah, okay, it's the day after. So we start on a new day. The loud clatter of books falling into the return slot abruptly breaks the grip of silence over the school library. It's become a habit for me to come to the library at least once a week. Not only does the reading itself keep me busy, but discussing books with Hanako and Lily also does. Oh yeah, we saw Hanako last time. Yeah, she left us alone for privacy. Some sort of privacy, I suppose. Obviously startled, Yuko suddenly twists towards the direction of the noise. I'd have thought her used to people dropping books by now, but since she does work here. Ah, hello Isao, back again? It takes a moment to respond, my mind still distracted by the familiar melody of Lily's humming that's hardly left my ears in the several days it's been since I fell asleep to it. Oh yeah, just returning some books I borrowed. She casts her eyes downwards, presumably to the bin the books dropped into. You're a very heavy reader, aren't you? It's become a bit of a routine now. Passes the time, at least. I wish I had free time to pass. Well, she works 2 jobs. Why 2 jobs, though? I don't think she has a family to maintain. Maybe the prices of rent are just expensive. From small talk to depression in less than 5 seconds. I think that's a new record for her. She seems a bit down in general today, even compared to normal. Considering she has to work 2 jobs just to support herself, I could see how that would take a toll on her lifestyle. Come to think of it, the pay for her job here can't be all that bad. The idea of staff in such a prestigious private school going hungry strikes me as counterintuitive. Oh, hides are nice with a Yuko. Not yet, I feel like not yet. Again though, there has to be a mod for it. Working 2 jobs must take a lot of time. I'd probably never manage it. You're lucky being a student. Do you think you'll be able to go to university? If she's asking, then I guess that's the expected result of having this kind of education. Private schools like this don't exactly come cheap. I guess I have the money, I think. I got plans which will require going to one, and my grades are good enough. It's more a matter of how I'll pay to do so. University costs so much that I'm having... Ah, okay. I was wondering why. Yeah, university. Makes sense. Rent and university doesn't come cheap. I'm having to work 2 jobs to afford to enter it. Paying for daily expensive too makes it a lot harder. But really... doesn't feel like makes sense. Because... well, for a lot of students, university is paid... well, for some students, yeah, it's paid from the parents, but... you just entered adulthood at university, and you need to work 2 jobs and study at the same time. That's like you unlocked hard mode after you become 18. I don't get it. The most important part, tuition, is gatekept by money. And hello Fado, yay! Just in time. Yuko it is, good way to start the stream. If you're reading this much though, that means you're doing well in school, right? Interesting logical jump, not an altogether wrong one though. Yeah, I suppose so. I didn't find any of the exams very hard, aside from maybe 1 or 2. Do you mind if I ask you what studies you're pursuing? Yuka appears to genuinely brighten at the question. Aww. Anthropology, to be specific, I'm specializing in the history of classical era, Athenian civilization and democracy. Whatever. Okay, not my field, I would say. She really seems to know her stuff. Game mode set to survive. Well, that happens when they kick out of your home at 18. That's the next difficulty level. Such enthusiasm is to be admired, and it's nice to see her genuinely excited about something. I guess even someone like Yuko can be happy if she has a visible road ahead of her. Good to hear you! Both of us jump at the sudden interruption coming from my pocket. That's... come on, this is not a sound of a mobile phone. That's the sound of a phone at your home, an old one. Apologizing profusely and quickly shuffling into the hallway as I fumble with the cover of my mobile phone, I glance at the screen. Weird, it's a mobile number I don't recognize. Considering I can count the number of people with my number on one hand, I briefly wonder whether it's some telemarketer that lucked out. On today's day, you don't even wonder. It's just spam. I get at least... well, sometimes I get like two spam calls in a day. Sometimes, though. Always a robotic voice. Hello? Is Onakai speaking? Hello, we inform you that your offer for the internet is changing plans. You need to contact us at the scam number at 99scam32. Recall later or otherwise you will be paid, you will be charged triple. Scams of this sort. Private number moment. Well, was it private? No, it's... well, at least it's a number it don't recognize. I'm lucky though, because I was thinking now. I wonder why I'm not receiving a lot of private number calls. Because I'm not even sure if I can block them. Maybe I can, but weirdly enough, the spam calls never come from a private number. Well, that would make it suspicious. Okay, never mind. Makes sense. Gee, speak faster next time. Guess who? I know, maybe. Wait, the Lilly's sister. It only takes me a second to recognize the distinctively deep, brusque voice. No, it's Misha, never mind. Never mind. You should be able to block unknown numbers calling. Yeah, I remember there was an option, but I'm not sure if there is in my actual phone now. I never checked. Hey Misha, didn't expect you to call me. Hey? You actually think I sound like her? No, wait, it was Akira. Not at all, Akira. I don't remember giving you my number though, so I thought I'd mess with you. Ah, okay, he also messed with us. That I got Lilly to give it to me. Not hard. She positively brims with pride at the statement. She's trying to get me caught up in her piece. I know it. Pace. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised that the two would share my number though, given how close they are. Outsmarted your outsmarting. Yeah, it was messing the messing, right? She was like, guess who I am? Oh, you're Misha. No. Double messing. So, what's up? You're free right now? Is this a date? Is this a double cheating? Nah, I'm kidding. I guess. Why? It's annoying for me because I call a lot of customers with private numbers. Yeah, that's the thing. Because you never know if the private number is something important of some sort. Well, usually not, but sometimes it happens. Could you meet me at the park in town? I just want to talk to you about some stuff. Is that an invitation to a date? What? Of course not. She sounds suddenly crestfallen, her previous teasing nature having instantaneously left. It seems strange for her. Anyway, I don't see why not. When do you want to meet? Kinda of now-ish. Wait, right now, but it's... The dead silence suddenly coming up from the phone announces that the fact that she has unceremoniously hung up. Well, sure we could, right? For a long time I just stand there, staring at the call-ended message on the screen, while replaying the conversation in my head. Who needs a recorder when you have a good memory, huh? Of course not, which means it is. That would be a double cheating though. What the hell, Akira? We could do a double date though. That's definitely way better. Throwing a glance up at and down the street, I cross the road and step into the park. I've learned to pace myself on such walks, mostly because Lilly's slower speed during our forays into town means I have to consciously slow myself down. That aside, I hope Akira didn't expect me to immediately prompt. With a beer, wow. It takes only a couple of seconds to spot her, waiting on a bench with a can of beer in her hand. We can say Akira is pretty chad. Akira is in his house. Are you and Lilly an open couple? Well, that would be pretty confusing. The look she gives me as I walk up lacks any hint of acknowledgement or greeting. What with that look? I needn't have come, you know. Oh no, you could. You're the kind of person, after all. I lower my brow at her remark, and she disposes of the can, emptied by the time I arrived. Akira takes a seat on the old wooden bench, and I follow her lead. She takes another one! How much does she drink? And opens it before speaking, taking a large gulp. She seems to really like that stuff. I suppose I don't need to ask what it is about, right? Or rather, who it's about. I heard from Lilly that you asked about our family. Wait. If you tell it to me while you're dressing that way, I might think you're talking about Mafia. Is Akira part of Mafia? Wait. Wait! Kenji did say something about Mafia, actually. Are they really into Mafia now? Is Kenji right? For once. Nah. They share more than phone numbers, that's for sure. I'd probably be very worried right now if it weren't for the total lack of malice in her voice. Rather, her tone sounds almost wistful. Idle curiosity, mostly. I have to admit, I never have guessed you two were half Scottish. She gives a wry chuckle of amusement. I've heard that before, trust me. The small smile falls from her face. Wait. I'm imagining like literally the smile falling down on the ground. And the face remains without a mouth. They are half Scottish, not half Italian. Yeah, so never mind with the Mafia. Well, could be a transferred Mafia gang in Scotland, who knows? Italian Mafia on vacation. Aside from the occasional elderly couple talking as they slowly walk the meandering paths, and the old aging car, it's pleasantly quiet. She didn't tell you everything though, right? It was pretty brief. Your parents live in Scotland, she hadn't met them since she was 12 and she wants to meet them again. It's always surprised me how devoted she is to our parents, for all the good they did us. The way she says it almost sounds derisive. She gives a small sigh, as if to quickly brush the feeling away. Why do you think they left, Isao? Why do I think they left? Is this a choice? Yeah, there's probably more to it. Maybe because she's blind. Ooh, that would be horrible. But no, because they also left Akira, right? Well, maybe they left both of them because one was blind, the other one was a tomboy. I don't know. Maybe they are... I don't know. They left because they hadn't tried. Makes also sense in the context. From what Lilly told me, it was because of work. I guess a pretty decently paying job was involved as well, given the way your parents seem to live. So Lilly went to a private school, and that's why she carries herself with the airs and graces of the upper class. Yeah, since the business in Inverness boomed, our father decided to move directly to the same city, as its headquarters. That's just a conclusion I thought you'd come to, though. You're too good-natured. You don't think they left for their career? I'm sitting here bitching to you about it. What do you think? Yamaku Academy. I've always felt that place was kinda creepy. Like it was an isolated hideaway for those proper society doesn't want to see nor hear. So maybe that's the reason. Also, give me a second, I forgot to put the ratings to the stream. Sure, here. They probably just threw the fact that Lilly wasn't old enough to be shot there by the time they left. So yeah, maybe they really wanted to get rid of her because she was blind. Or not care about her, not give her the attention she needed. A long silence follows her abrupt and very harsh criticism of her own parents, and Yamaku. Lilly's blindness is hardly something that could be simply ignored for a high-class family attempting to keep up appearances, much less so when a lucrative offer is on the table. Eventually, Akira gives a derisive snort, her feelings coming to a head. Moving to secure our financial future with his new job posting. Even at the time, I hardly believed it. Not wanting to simply be an avenue for her venting, I gently tried to steer the discussion. So you stayed in Japan with Lily then? Either I stayed with her, or she went to live with an lying grandmother and grandfather. What about Shizune family? If you're cousins, then... Our fathers eat each other. They always ate each other in the family. What's with the lineage here? The fathers ate each other. The daughter hates each other. Eiling sickly. Okay, thanks. I'd have been more than happy to tell them to go screw themselves and live with them anyway, but Lily wouldn't have wanted that. I'd also had an offer for a job by then, so we did our best to keep our parents' house in proper shape and try to continue our lives as if they'd never left. So you just lived by yourself? Basically, Lily had a school and I had my job, so we weren't exactly languishing. Okay, languishing is probably doing bad. Yeah, lose or lack vitality. Stay in an unpleasant situation. Here. With her schooling, her study, and having to do chores while I worked, though, I can't help feeling like I failed her. In the end, I tried to be there for her. And screwed it up. How did you screw it up? I don't think you did a bad job, I suppose. Expecting a 19-year-old to be a mother for a blind child. It's ridiculous. Wait. Your mother was only 19 old when she had a child? I'm screwing everything, Akira. And her boyfriend with a shirt, I'm everything. The classic combo of the shirt. So Lily and Akira lived alone after their parents moved, with Lily largely taking care of herself. No, Akira was 19. Ah, okay, yeah. Ah, okay. Yeah, by saying that Akira would have taken the role of the mother. Okay, I didn't expect her to be that much older than Lily. I would have gave her like a maximum of 3 years older than Lily. So it's like a big sister. But maybe she took the role of a mother. Even if it doesn't feel like one. I may have lived alone much of the time since my parents both worked, but that's just something else entirely. Oh, sorry for making you listen to my moaning, Hisao. Could you use a different term, please? She's the father. I would, identify her better as the father figure, maybe. I don't mind at all, but do you mind if I ask why you're telling me all of this? Huh, you always were curious. Context, I suppose. Life isn't a fairy tale, Isao. Some people have to learn that the hard way. She takes a long drink from the can in her hand, her face becoming more depressed than distant. I broke up. No! Wait, that means she's free. And also her boyfriend is free. Should we go for Akira or the boyfriend? I broke up with my boyfriend a few days ago. After I leave, we are not going to be able to see each other again. But that's how life is. You can't just set your life up and expect it to stay the way forever. Sometimes stuff happens that you have to roll with, even if it means hurting yourself or others. Why not both? They just broke up. Let's not join them together again for the time being. She takes a long breath before looking up at the bright orange sky. Damn, if I smoked I could take a nice long drag right now. And look kinda cool. You always look cool, Akira. I want to respond to help her in whatever way I can, but I feel utterly useless. This kind of situation is one I've never been in, and I simply don't have the experience to say anything meaningful to comfort her. Akira looks over and evidently picks up on this, much to my embarrassment. I must look pretty pathetic right now, whining about this to someone I barely know. Well, okay, we barely know each other, but I think it will be pretty safe to say we might end up as siblings-in-law, right? Hardly, and I'm pretty much an expert on looking pathetic. She gives a chuckle, the act feeling like a personal victory to me. You're a good kitty, Zhao. When I said that I approved you being with my sister, I wasn't joking or just being nice. Maybe she approved it as a mother figure. She picks herself up off the seat with a grunt, one that seems ill-fitting given her age. Opla! And throws the now empty can into the bin after one last swig. It's just an unfortunate that doesn't really count for much in this world. When I said that I was leaving for Scotland, I was doing it because a good position opened up in our company headquarters. When our folk told me that when we were at their place, though, they also gave Lilly a summons to rejoin them in Inverness. So it's not a way to see them, it's... okay, so... Wait, so her family took her in the company? Or... No, it's our company. I'm missing the... What's she meaning with our company? Really going back to Scotland. Yeah, I think that's the important part. Thanks for pointing that up. Though Lilly gave Lilly a summon, it's not certain that she will go, right? Though that means she will have to choose between Akira and myself. No way. Her evasiveness when asked about her future, that awkwardness that had steadily grown between us, that uncharacteristic outburst of anger, all of them suddenly fit into place. The same family that she reminisced about after Hanako's birthday party. The same family that left her and Akira to themselves after taking flight to greener pastures. Now I feel stupid for never cornering Lilly on what was bugging her. I'd never ever considered if something had happened during her trip to their family home at Inverness. And now, a sense of unease grows in my chest. If her family has summoned her to join them in Scotland, all the way on the other side of Earth. Has she accepted? What if it's a temple summon with a guarantee 5-star pity roll? Guarantee 5-star pity! Sign me in right now! How many MP does it take to summon Lilly? I feel like a lot. Though I think she comes in the field blinded. Lilly hasn't told me whether she plans to accept. And it seems she hadn't told you either. That's why I called you down here to talk this out. Context, huh? I sit back, my feeling of worry and frustration, no doubt, written all over my face. Lilly is a strong person, Isao, but she's not infallible. I guess it's my job to worry about her, being her older sister, but I think that you deserve to know. I understand. You okay? You sound depressed. Maybe because he is... No. I'm just thinking. That's good. Thinking is good. Being rash won't get you anywhere. She looks at her watch, barely moving her wrist. I got to go. Will you be okay? I'll be fine, don't worry. I have to talk to Lily about it and get everything sorted out. She gives a smile, but doesn't feel all that genuine or sincere. Really, both of us are dancing around the fact that Lily is on the precipice of the biggest decision of her life, and is trying to take the entire burden on herself. And part of that burden is the matter of our relationship. Well, you could go like at university near her. Pretty big step, but your family has the money, right? Well, also, you can do like you know, you can also do like Yuko, work a double job. By the time I look up, Akira is already walking off with her hand held up. For the first time in a long while, I finally have an answer to something. Perhaps not even that. But at least I know I have the right question to ask. Will you leave or stay? Well, you should introduce the argument slowly though. Okay, we have the final boss. Is it the final boss? Hurry, Lily! What is this? Feels like a dream? I'm moving as fast as I can. I can barely make out Lily's voice over the deafening pounding of the rain. Even though I dislike pulling her around, the situation calls for it. I turn forward, my free hand over my head in a futile attempt to keep at least my hair dry. My vision seems to be in grayscale. This really is rotten weather for summer, and the last kind of climate I'd want for a date. No, it's a date! It's ruined! A pity. I haven't checked the weather forecast beforehand. One of the very few times I've ever done so. Only for it to say that Sunday afternoon would be fine. Looking to Lily, her shoulders are by now completely drenched, with her right hand holding tightly to mine, and her left gripping her retracted cane. The rain is washing away their sorrows, all the stains of time. Sounds pretty nice. This horrid downpour came on just as we were between our destination and Yamaku, so we decided to try rushing the rest of the distance rather than doubling back. Entirely unused to running this fast, Lily is using all her concentration just to avoid tripping over. I'm imagining Lily, mind expanding, scanning the ambience around. I don't know, I'm imagining Lily senses expanding, or something that happens in anime, right? Animations to show the mind doing this. So, do you know where we are going? To the hospital if you continue running like this. Even if she reduced to shouting to try and be heard over the combined noise of the wind and the rain. The rest of my voice is completely drowned out by an even heavier burst of rain. The what? The Shanghai! The Shanghai! How far is it? Shouldn't be far now. It doesn't take long before I call out to her once again. Looks like we are safe. Just up ahead. I quickly pull to a stop just in front of the familiar exterior. The lantern outside still giving off its reliable glow. I wait for Lily to catch her breath before going in. Ladies first! Wait, if Lily is catching her breath, that means we also run a little too far. Too fast. We shouldn't run this much. The tiny bell inside rings out when I hold the door open for her. A smile and a polite nod being my reward before entering myself. Oof, we are fine. As I step in behind her and wipe my feet, only a quick glance is necessary to notice the distinct lack of activity. The Shanghai doesn't seem to get much in the way of patronage, and today is no different. Only a couple of tables are occupied. Summoned by the bells ringing, a most expected person comes to greet us. Yuko! Oh, I forgot her maid outfit. Welcome to the Shanghai! Yuko looks chipper today. Trying to predict her moods is pretty hard, but it's a nice change from the norm. Hello, Yuko. Hey. Good afternoon, you two. The bow was kinda weird. She takes a deep bow, somewhat taken aback as she rights herself again and gets a better look at us. What happened to you? You both look... Well, it's raining. Hey, her eyes drift towards the glass of the door behind us. Oh dear! We are inside now, at least. I think that's the most important thing. It's nice and cozy. You're lucky to be working inside today. Well, it's not like she works outside, right? Maybe they have an open space outside, but they still don't use it if it's raining. And the library is inside. It has been nice and quiet. I like days like this. Oh wait, sorry, is there anything you'd like? French vanilla tea, please. Same. Right, coming right up. Lilly's composure is unbreakable, unbending even. She's built for poise. Full poise build then. She quickly skitters off with a determined look on her face, trying very hard not to forget our orders. If nothing else, she's at least dedicated to her jobs. I head Lilly to an empty seat before the two of us settle down. As usual, there's a large difference between my exhausted flopping down into my seat and Lily's delicate sliding into hers. Her cane set beside her. For a while, I just idly watch the rain falling outside. The occasional person runs down the street trying to stay as dry as possible, hands after tightly gripping a rain-soaked umbrella. Lilly sits just as quietly as I, her eyes closed as she intently listens to all that's happening. It's a comfortable, relaxing silence that exists between us, just the type that we'd so often shared together in the past months. For Lilly at least. I can't help replaying the words of her sister in my mind. Yeah, that flashback again. At times contrasting them to both our time spent together since I entered Yamaku, and to the way we've been since we started dating. No matter how much I try, I can't work Lilly out. It's as if the harder I try to second guess her emotions and their potential decision, the more difficult it becomes to reach a clear conclusion. It makes me doubt whether I ever really understood her. At the end, I'm going to have to ask, even though I very much want to avoid doing so. You seem quiet today, Hisao. Oh, really? You seem so enthusiastic about taking me on a date. I assume you had something specific you wanted to do. Yeah, if the rain didn't invalidate our date. No, not really. Just wanted to spend some time with you. Ah, is that so? Fine. There was one thing. A little oh, that's so adorable. A little grin finds its way onto Lily's face, her knowing full well that she's bested me. It makes what I want to say all the more awkward. It was just, Akira and I were talking. Oh? What with that tone? You two seem to get on well, don't you? Well, I don't think she's a pretty cool person to talk with. It would be nice if any of the teachers were anything like her. Cool. For a moment I tried to place her tone of the voice, my mouth curling into a smirk, as I realized it. You're not jealous, are you? I'm not jealous. Oh, after her teasing me over such a thing in our first date, I don't feel too bad having a little laugh at her expense this time around. As we settle down though, it's only a minor distraction from the real point of why I brought Lilly here. Don't worry, it was mostly just everyday stuff. That said, there was something Akira mentioned that I wanted to talk to you about. When you went to see your family in Inverness a while back, she said, Akira told you about my family summons, hasn't he? Hasn't she? Seconds tick by while I try to read Lily's face, an odd mixture of feelings written on it. She seems annoyed, but also somewhat confused. Here... Frank moment, Yuko. Yuko tentatively slides our drinks onto the table. Her presence oddly small. Yeah, because perspective! She's slightly behind, so the sprite is smaller. That's basic perspective, actually. Well, except if you open the world map. As she walks back to the counter after a quick, polite nod, I realize the air between me and Lily is thick and our expression... There is Lily. You could crop Lily is thick. Sorry, I don't know why I'm laughing. And our expressions are both somewhat pensive. Even though she says I should lead my own life, she still interferes at the worst times. I don't think you should blame Akira here. She's just looking out for you. And it's not like I can't understand her concerns over this. Lily's irritation gives way to an awkward but largely unsuccessful attempt to mask her feelings. She really doesn't deal well with being cornered on personal topics. I know, but I just wanted some more time. I knew you'd have figured it out eventually, but... You were intentionally hiding this from me? For how long were you planning to do so? As I said, I simply wanted more time to think it through. I just wanted to be sure of my decision before telling you. What did you decide to do in the end? I know what I wanted to say, but an awful feeling refuses to leave my gut. My family does dearly want me to return to them, and Akira will be going as well. I could still teach as a career, whether it be here or there. So you're going? How long have you known? I already know you were asked when you first went to Scotland, about a month ago. Some time. My frustration nearly boils over. The fact that she's done this affects me more than it should. For her not only to be leaving, but to have been actively hiding her own plans from me, and after seeming for so long to be the one solid pillar of support and reliability I could depend on, it feels as if the foundation underneath me is suddenly shifting drastically, much faster than I can adapt to. Perhaps this isn't so much frustration as sheer unease. Lily, I'm sorry, I just wanted to think this through completely. I wasn't trying to take advantage of you, please. I know, Lily, I know, this is just really sudden. I guess this means that once you go, we'll be breaking up. For one of the few times I've seen since I met her, she's genuinely lost for words. She doesn't look surprised, no doubt because the fact had dawned on her once she became sure of her decision. But rather, she appears genuinely unsure of how to deal with the situation now that it's in front of her. Well, we could try pursuing a long-distance relationship. Well, we won't be seeing each other anyways, right? Focus on seeing... I'm sorry, Leo, I'm sorry. That was poor taste. They're getting more and more common those days, after all. Even as she says it, the tone of her voice gives away that she doesn't truly believe what she's saying. Lily is far too old-fashioned to be able to cope with a relationship without any kind of physical presence. And even I am, to an extent. All we could ever be to each other would be a voice from the other side of the world. I wonder how a couple of a deaf and a blind person communicate afar? Well, one can talk. The other can do the... Yeah, one can talk. The other can do the talk with hands. So yeah, cool. Technically it's possible. We could move to Scotland. Live how? Well, as Yuko, she works 2 jobs to pay her university. And the people can write. Yeah. I was considering the live contact, because it's not doable by telephone, but you can do like a call on Skype or Discord, for example. All we would ever be to each other would be a voice from the other side of the world. In the end, trying to rationalize everything is futile. Any attempt to try and connect what's happening with the future or past just seems to get more difficult the more I concentrate. Those quiet moments when we just walked side by side, the precious time we spent with Tanako and Akira, the casual chatter we had during lunch times, the times we made love, a magic, the confessions of our feelings to each other. All pointless, useless, all just a fleeting moment in our young lives. We are just 2 children pretending to be adults, aren't we? A long silence hangs in the air between us. The noise of the other patrons, drinking and talking, only makes the situation feel more strange and disconnected. There was a Soul game where they put 2 people in a room. One was blinded, the other had his mouth closed with wires. And they had to find a way to cooperate. Oh, that's cool. That's a cool concept. Well, one can talk, so one can talk and ask questions, and the other can make sounds to answer. If they had time, which I think they hadn't, they could just make, okay, if you want to say something, for the first letter, tap the number of times. So, if they don't know, let's assume they don't know Morse code, you can tap 5 times for the 5th letter, and so on for the entire alphabet. Or you could do like something with touch, like you can write a keyboard on your back, and so you like, well, maybe it's better on the front, because you can see what they are typing. No, wait, no, you can't see, right? One is blinded, never mind. Well, a body part, like fingers, A, B, C, D, A, F, G, H, I. That sort of things you can do. Though, coming up with it and having time to do it is another story. Lily's face remains low, her dejected expression clouding it. I'm sorry, Zhao. A simple apology, no more. She's left entirely without any further response or comment. With her own sigh, I gather what's left of my thoughts and ask the final question I have for her. When will you be going? I'll be leaving with Akira. It will be a little less than a week. A week, and you never told me? The beginning of summer holidays? Just a little afterwards, yes. Her tone is unusually slow and steady, her apologetic and depressed mood all the more written on her face, as she tries to hide it in her voice. In the end, I can't even keep my promise of going to Tanabata with her before she leaves. No! Sad tea reflection. I look down, seeing my face reflected in a by now lukewarm cup of neglected tea sitting in front of me. I really thought I'd left this kind of expression behind. For a while, I just stared down into the still surface, trying to sort through my emotions to get at what course of action I should take, whether it be right now or in the future. But, just as before, the effort is wasted. I glance up to see Lily gently sipping her cool tea without complaint, her face thrown and shoulders slumped. She looks to be deep in thought, too. A strangely cold atmosphere coming between us as we isolate ourselves to mull things over. At the references, there's no memory, it's only dry inside. Even as Lily's cup slowly empties, mine remains untouched. It's a long time before I notice the rain dying down outside, and the few other patrons of the Shanghai having left. No. I imagine them returning to Yamaku together with a sad mood. The chill of the rapidly darkening evening permeates the dormitory hallways. Now, Kenji comes and ruins the entire mood. While trudging down the corridor to my room, I see an unwelcome movement from up ahead. Wait, that's really Kenji? Yeah. As I said, Kenji comes and ruins the mood. Sure enough, the opening of the door opposite mine heralds the arrival of a bespectacled Kenji. Hey man, what's... Wow, dude, you look awful, I think. You okay? He really has a knack for making any situation better. Oh, I don't want to go into it. It's late. Okay, that's cool. If you ever want to talk about it, I'm, here. I look at him for a moment before surrendering my stern front and awkwardly stretching the back of my neck, embarrassed by my standoffish response to him. Thanks, Kenji. I don't think we can confide this thing on Kenji, definitely not. Hey, it's cool, that's what friends are for, right? Yeah, you're right, see ya. I open the door to my own room and close it behind me, as he quickly waves me off. The solid thud of the door makes against the doorframe sounds out a final call for the life I've led since coming to Yamaku. I just stand in my darkened room, fruitlessly attempting to work out what I should do from this point onwards. Just, what should I do? Well, it's not easy finding a job and live there. Also, they are not even... are they adults yet? In Japan they are, but they are still young. It's not like the relationship went on for 2 years. So, chasing a relationship that just started doesn't sound as the wisest choice. As class ends, I simply rest my head on my hand. Well, this said, even if it doesn't sound like a wisest choice, it's Lilly for the love of Leven. Don't you want a relationship with Lilly? Who doesn't? Well, okay. Maybe people with different tastes, but still, that's Lilly we are talking about. An anime girl. So this may change something. As class ends, I simply rest my head on my hand and stare out at the window to pass the time. It's been a few days since Lilly told me her plans. I haven't been to our ordinary lunchtime haunt since then. Not that there would be much point. A rich anime girl, I might add. Okay, well, that sounds even more convincing. I think that would be definitely worth it. Hanako has been busy with a newspaper club she's newly joined, and has even begun talking in class with Naomi every now and then. Even Lilly, aside from the fact that a meeting between us would have been awkward in any case, has been run off her feet with class representative duties as the summer holiday approach. And now they're just about here. With the end of today's bell, the summer holiday will have begun. I suppose that all I'll end up doing will be visiting my parents for the duration and lazing about my old home, now that my previous plans are entirely askew. Meanwhile, Akira and Lilly will be en route to Scotland to live out the rest of their lives here. Supposedly. Maybe something changes, who knows. No matter how hard I try to rationalize the idea that once the summer holiday begins, my life will return to the way it was, it simply refuses to happen. Everyone moving on with their lives, Lilly rejoining her family, Akira's moving up in her father's business, Hanako is gaining new friends in her hobbies, even Yuko is moving ahead with her university aspirations. Even I am moving forward, in the end. With the grades I've gotten so far in Yamako, much less after such a rocky beginning, the path to get into teaching science as a career seems straightforward. I suppose I should at least be happy about that much. But it doesn't really seem to help. Hichan! I quickly stop my ruminating and turn to face the bubbly voice beside me, putting on the most upbeat expression I can master. Okay, I thought about a new theory. Misha has cancer. I'm not kidding. I think Misha is at Yamako because she has cancer. We saw a photo. Well, first of all, there's nothing visibly wrong with Misha, well, except being extroverted, I suppose. But we saw her photo. We saw an old photo where she had a different hair color. So, or she liked pink this much, or she's bald from cancer. And she's wearing a wig. I think she's wearing a wig. And maybe she's so bubbly because... I don't know. Maybe she got like this to forget about her problem. Where did that come from? Well, I thought a little outside of stream about Misha, and I thought, maybe she has cancer. Well, actually it came to mind the last stream, but I didn't say it because it was completely out of context. I wanted to stay with for now when Misha came. That's my plan. Well, that was my idea. I think makes sense. First, doesn't show any disability. Second, she changed hair color. Not a lot, but that's, I think, a reasonable conclusion. As expected, Shizune stands flanking her. I have a sneaking suspicion they want something from me. The local mafia is here. Hey Misha, Shizune, what's up? Well, Shichen and I were thinking, since we're just two poor little girls that need help with all the work we've been given just before the holiday begin. Yeah, poor little girls, completely defenseless. Yeah, definitely. As if I would believe it. Sure, I can help. But Ichan, we really need... What? What? Well, yeah, anything to think about something else. I don't have plans, right? Oh, and Shizune is smiling. What? I think I broke Misha. I don't know why I like this sentence. Even Shizune raises an eyebrow at her accomplice shadowing stop in her tracks. So you'll help us, Ichan? Misha stopped working. I just said I would, didn't I? It's hardly like I have anything better to do. Maybe helping them with their work will help take my mind off the situation. Misha seems genuinely ecstatic with my response, but Shizune's expression is clouded and difficult to read. I find myself quickly averting my eyes from her own, as if it almost looks like a face of pity. No doubt, must be my imagination. Ah, long time we don't go here, huh? This is hardly the first time I've been in the student council room. Indeed, I found myself down here often, either to help Lilly with class rep work, or to sort out some things or another with the student council itself. Now though, it's quite a different place. They have a computer? They are gaming? Well, I don't know what you can game with this computer, but still gaming. What can you game? Well, definitely Doom. What else? Bad Apple. Oh wait, that's not gaming. Misha. Oh, Shizune. Misha. Oh. Can you translate? Papers and folders are strewn across every table in the room. Only a solitary little black laptop atop. Laptop. Wait, is this intentional? Laptop. This cannot be not be intentional. Laptop. It's laptop without an L. It can probably run RPG Maker 2003. So okay, perfect. I never completed Extremordelia, so maybe it's the moment for that. But if it's a top of desk, it's a desktop. Sounds like a sound reasoning. So only a solitary little black laptop atop, a single desk sticking out from the mess. It looks positively ancient, and I'd guess it have been valiantly serving this task in achieving information for years and years. So what it's doing? This looks like a lot to do. They close the door. Nothing, Itchan. We need to rob you. Shizune's expression becomes determined as she signs. It's a worrying look. Everything, Itchan. What do you mean everything? My worry was well placed. Everything, you say? What's left on the desk is what needs to be done. It all needs to be digitally recorded, which is what the laptop is for. And I'm guessing that I'll be the one doing this? Shi-chan says she saw you with a computer in the library a few days ago, and that you seemed really good with them. Good with the computers? I can touch type, I guess, but seems like an overestimation of my skills. I was just typing up my homeworks. Wait, Shizune was watching me doing that? One must know their allies before they can know their enemies, of course. No, that's called stalking. Wow, that's pretty wise. For once, it's not very hard to work out who said what. Nonetheless, it doesn't seem worth fighting over. Sitting at my computer, doing some typing hardly seems onerous, as far as tasks to help Shizune and Misha go. Besides, it will help to take your mind off things. Take my mind off things? Take my mind off what things? Misha's face goes blank as she translates it for Shizune, though the latter's response is only to glance away, towards the window after briefly signing. Misha's face quickly returns to a smile as she translates back. She was confused, I guess, but Shizune is harder to pin down. I was thinking you might like to get your mind off the exams, of course. Okay, for a moment, it's our fault they got him. Shizune is like, you're doing my not next, right? Well, we still need to decide. All the triggers left are interesting. Personally, I'm interested on Misha, but we can see. It's legal if a cute girl does it, right? Yeah, that's the meme. Either way, we might as well get into it sooner rather than later. I'll go along with you. That's the spirit, Chan! And that's the 5th spreadsheet compiled and saved. Time for next month's. After a little bit of fussing around, we all managed to get a bit more organized. Shizune has been gathering up the loot sheets and, thankfully, sorting them into a neat pile next to me. Meanwhile, Misha has been handling the manual writing work, her girly pink pen leaving its unmistakable mark on paper after paper. Once I got myself into rhythm, this really wasn't so bad. Shizune and Misha also seem to be in the swing of things, wordlessly communicating as they go about their business with fervor. I periodically glance at the sheet beside the laptop, apparently a list of student names and matching addresses. They have their address! Oh no! Those girls are dangerous! They have other people's addresses! Oh no! I won't sleep in peace. I will be not sleep this night, knowing they know where I live. As I dutifully enter the data written on it. I don't pay a lot of attention to what I'm typing until I reach about midway down the page. Akamichi, Cluster 3. Oh. A family home is in Saitama. Wait, Takamichi is... Shizune, right? Or Misha was it? I forgot. One Punch! I had the Saitama! One Punch! My idle curiosity is ended abruptly as the... As tree light... Ah, the tree light from outside. Taps can be heard rapping on the door. Ah, no, never mind. It's 3, the number. Misha quickly skips over to check who it is, tapping Shizune's shoulder on the way past to let her companion know what's happening. Ah, you're here. Who is here? Wait, what if it's Lilly? Who is it? I think would be Lilly because otherwise... well, this scene doesn't have a reason to exist, right? Since we are near the end. With a slow, light pause to enter Shizune data into the file along with all the other, I look up to check who's at the door. Yep, it's Lilly! After giving a cursory nod to Misha and greeting, she perks her head up in her trademark manner. Is that his how? How did she recognize me? Wait, from... How did she know I was there? Maybe because she heard me typing. And knows that Shizune cannot type, so she assumed that they asked help for the closest person, which was me. That's a pretty fast leap of logic, Lilly, wow. See? She's cute, well defined, rich, and also very smart. Or maybe it was my smell. I don't know. You smell like tears. Ah yeah, she can recognize our breathing. Makes sense. Still, wow. She's pretty darn good at working out my voice from the smallest of phrases nowadays. Did they say anything? I didn't say. Ah, wait, here. Ah, okay. Okay, Hira. He talked. Who is it? Yeah, it's me. Hey. The atmosphere feels slightly awkward as she bows. Neither of us knows quite how intimate we should be around each other, given she's leaving in just a matter of hours. This is a fact that, thankfully, neither the oblivious Misha nor the hard-working Shizune picks up on. Oh, so you got work to do as well? Unfortunately, I arrived as soon as I could, but my class held me up with a surprise farewell party, and I had to get changed. I glanced down at the laptop's clock. It's pretty much the end of lunchtime, so I'm guessing Lilly managed to wrangle the last period off as well. I take it Shizune is here as well? Of course! And I've been here during all lunchtime as well. The last comment was really not needed. Shizune baiting Lilly into another argument. I can feel it. I'm sorry I can be as hardworking as you, Shizune. I endeavor to are more lucky to do my work in future. I assure you. She's also funny. And Lilly just took her bait, escalating these things further. But aren't you the one always outsourcing work to your classmates? Stop arguing, please. Endeavor, strive. I thought it was behavior. Wait. Actually, I didn't know. I know it's a Pokemon move, but I thought it was like behavior. So I'll act to hire more Luckies. So I strive to hire more Luckies. Yeah, strive. Try hard to achieve something. Okay. I didn't know. Weird, because I heard the word a lot from Pokemon, but I never wonder what it means. I don't know why. But aren't you always outsourcing work to your classmates? The difference is they choose to help. unlike your tyrannical grip on your own class. Tyranny works! They admit it! Tyranny works, even if we did things differently, we still got the same result, right? This is cool, not a police state. You will have to remind me when you were appointed class monarch, I'm afraid. You have to see its power, it's not as good if it's just handed to you, but I guess you won't really understand that, right? We shouldn't give Shizune any sort of power, or she might take a true tyranny on the entire country. She's dangerous. She's dangerous. The Topiaron with Endeavour. With also sturdy, right? You just have to remind me when monarchs were elected into their position. Lilly positively blisters at this. Shizune's two-hit combo forces her onto the fence. Yet for all your wanted power, you cannot get one person to help you without forcing him. But he's a volunteer, he's just such a hard worker, he's doing this instead of meaningless socialization, right? Is that so, Isao? Ah, now it's on me. This is bad, I really ended up between a rock and a hard place. As much as it might pain me to do this, the truth has at least a chance of stopping this argument here and now. It's okay, Lilly. They didn't harass me to come or anything. Almost. Lilly gives me a disapproving grimace, silently radiating her strong feeling of displeasure in my general direction. She can be quite scary when she wants to be, though thankfully that isn't often. Hichan, you make that sound like it's a regular occurrence. Isn't it? In the end, it doesn't matter so long as everything is getting done at a good pace. Let's just get to work over with, so we can go home. Shizune snorts derisively and gets back to marking off the sheets in front of her, while Lilly sighs and finds her way along the room with her hand following the filing cabinets lined along the wall. Angry Shizune, she's often angry. This would mark the only time I managed to successfully defuse one of those situations. But the grudging ceasefire built around mutual fear and respect makes this feel more like the Cold War than any real peace. I can't take all the credit though. Lilly's leaving has surely affected Shizune to some extent, to make her give up so easily. Moments before getting back to my work, I notice Lilly reaching up to grab something from above a filing cabinet. I almost offer my help, but her height gives her ample ability to take it down safely. Once she sets the strangely shaped device on the desk beside me, I realize just what it is. Sort of. As she takes the old ring covering off and sits down. A typewriter. At first glance it seems to be an old metallic blue typewriter. Wait, but doesn't have a lot of buttons? Maybe top pens in a typewriter? It doesn't take me long to realize it's far from ordinary. Maybe it's for blind? How do you... could make sense. It's a typewriter for blind people. Yeah, because she has exactly 7 buttons. One for each coordinate, for the letter of Braille. Yeah, because it has 6 dots, and the center one is for spacing. It has far fewer keys than expected. And those it has show no lettering printed of them. Though, which is which? They're divided by 3, so... Okay, the first one is the top left one, but the others? The second is the top right one or the middle left one? How are they sorted? Like the first 2 are the top, the middle is left and right from the center. Yeah, it has 3 dots for column, but they are aligned horizontally. So maybe it's more intuitive to have the first one to be the first line. Left column. Okay, never mind, that makes more... Makes sense as well, but I was considering the alignment. Nah, for the column I think it's working well. Only the shadows cast by the tiny braille dots on them give a hint to the thing's purpose. Ah, they have to be like this because they are punching holes in the paper. Okay, so maybe it's printing vertically the paper then. Still, one needs to be on both below the other, so they still have some leeway to go in a different direction. Though they can't cross each other, so yeah. Maybe that's it. Blind type writer? Oh, this, well, you're not far off. Normally called a Perkins Brailler, but it's basically a typewriter for the blind. Yes, it presses braille into the page rather than text, which is why it has fewer keys. Oh, that's really neat. She gives a light-hearted grin at my curiosity over it. I hate to admit that it appeals to my sense of novelty. Without further ado, we each get back to our allotted tasks. The loud clanking of the mechanics in Lilly's brailler and the tapping of the laptop old and weary keyboard fills the room. It's a nice atmosphere, really. Everyone knows what they have to do. And Lilly and I get to sit beside each other and exchange the odd words as we work away. Nostalgic, that's what it feels like. It's pleasant, but just slightly stained with the knowledge that our time together is nearing its end. Excuse me, Misha? To properly address her, Misha bounces over from the filing cabinet she's peering into, in spite of Lily's lack of sight. For a moment I think it's strange, but then realize it's exactly what I do. What's up? Could you ask Shizune where the attendance records for class 3-2 are? I think they've been moved. Okie dokie! And with that, she flitters off to Shizune, who's working at the table behind us. Lily's familiarity with the council room and the efficiency with which she works reminds me that she, Misha and Shizune used to all work together in the student council. Maybe this is a fitting end for their stay in Yamaku, working away just like she used to, surrounded by those she loves and, at least, liked. I look up, getting taken off guard by Shizune sorting through a drawer, rather than Misha. Sure enough, she plucks out a manila folder, entirely blank save for the just barely visible bumps on its front, and holds it in front of Lilly. Lily's hand fits over it to check what it is, her fingers filling out the dots of braille and confirming it's what she asked for. Thank you, Misha. No reply. Well, it's also thank Shizune. No reply, that is, save for a nod grin. No, smile on Shizune's face. Aww. Aww. Here they are. A couple of seconds pass before Lilly clicks that it isn't Misha behind her, but Shizune. Her momentary look of surprise is replaced by a slight, bashful smile. For a few moments, the room is all but still and silent. Eventually, though, Shizune strides back to her workstation and Lilly begins typing once again. It only lasted a handful of seconds in all, but feels like years of communication were made up for in that one silent exchange. I hope so. There, finished! I lean my head back and rub my eyes to try and work away their weariness. Staring at a small and rather poor screen has taken its toll. Excellent timing. The only thing left is to file those away and I'll have my workload finished as well. Good, I can pack up the brailler and put it away while you do that. Thank you, Isao. Misha, are you and Shizune far from being done? I look around for the two as I replace the cover over the brailler, only to see them waiting at the door. I guess they must be waiting for us. With a minimum of wasted time, we file and pick up everything that remains and join them. Thanks for waiting, you two. We couldn't just take off without you, Ichan. You've been a great help. Shizune nods approvingly, pleased with my efforts. I guess that's the last class representative work done and over with then. That's right. I'll miss you too. I'll miss you, Lilly. I think it was fun working with you. Thank you, Misha. It's been good working with you. And Shizune. Shizune thinks for a moment before formulating a response. It's not that she often communicates without thinking, quite the opposite, but this time it's even more considered than usual. Misha looks a little surprised before passing on the message. Shizune says, you'd better do your work over there better than you did it here, no! Far from taking offense, Lilly giggles into her hand. If that's the case, please tell Shizune to give those still here a little more understanding in the future. Competitive until the last. Maybe Shizune and Lilly aren't so different after all. Shichan says that she'll be checking to make sure you live up to your end of the promise. Then that's how it will be. I'll better off then. Goodbye, Shizune. Goodbye, Misha. Isao? Lilly takes a hold of my arm in hers. There being no need for a cane if I'm here to guide her. With a nod of farewell to the two, we set off out the door and make our way to the school grounds. As I turn to wave goodbye to them, I notice Shizune gaze lingering on Lilly. They may know each other, but family bonds aren't easily broken. Got all your papers sorted, huh? Yes, they're being filled out and handed in. On top of things as always, aren't you? On top of the morning even? No, she's not on top of the morning. On top of everything, but not the morning. She gives an earnest smile at the compliment, but it feels as if her happiness is just a veneer. That's Irish. Close. Pretty close. But yeah, that's why. That's why she's not top of the morning. What's a veneer? Veneer. A thin decorative cover in the wood or... Cover something with a decorative? A disguise, okay. A disguise makes sense. Okay. Feels if her happiness is just a veneer over the fact that she's fully aware of how much she's leaving behind. Reminds me of how she was like when I first met her. Always smiling, always that little bit aloof, always that little distance away from everybody. Even now, she still maintains that air around many others. Especially those she's not close to. I had hoped that our time together would have changed that fact. Our pace slows, the two of us coming to a halt in the hall, but in the all but empty school gardens. Is something... Lilly's words are cut short as I turn and wrap my arms around her, pulling her tight. I may not usually be given to such impulsive actions, but I just want to be close to her, even if it's the last time I'll be able to. All the other students have retreated to their dormitories and homes, only the ruffling of leaves in the breeze making any sound whatsoever. Boop! As I draw back, I can see she had dropped her carefully maintained smile. Her hand hesitates, wanting neither to leave nor to stay on my features. She's putting up a brave show, but her slight trembling gives her away. Lilly may be able to control herself well, but she can't hold her composure together now. This is the woman I come to love, but also the one who, in all too short a time, will leave the country forever. I'm sorry, Zhao. It's okay, you got your own life to lead after all. That was short! No! I wanted more! We wake up to the hallway in the girls' dormitory, hand in hand. Our emotions by now largely quelled. Tranquilized, okay. Nevertheless, our hands grip each other's much more tightly than before. Hand holding in public? Well, there's nobody here. Faint, muffled voices can be heard from Lilly's room, the origins of which aren't difficult to guess. No. The moment she opens the door, Hanako bursts through and wraps her arms around Lily, taking her very obviously by surprise. Lily! Oh, Hanako? I'm going to miss you, Lily. As expected, she is on the verge of tears. No, Lily gently rubs Hanako's hair with her hand in response, then pulls back and gives a warm, reassuring smile. She emerges from I don't know, below the bed. She was hiding. Okay, she was getting up. Looking beyond Hanako, Akira can be seen getting up from the side of Lily's bed and scratching her head. Her eyes turn from Lily and Hanako to me, a stilted, weak smile hanging on her face. I try to return a more genuinely happy look, but the result is probably just the same. So everything set? Managed to hold back from killing Shizu? The comment draws an amused giggle from her sister. Ah, now it dawns on me. That's why Akira left her boyfriend. The same reason of Lily. Yeah, I have everything in order. Yes, I managed not to. Have you packed everything you need? Got the 2 bags right there, but there's still some stuff left at the Hakamichi's home. I can pick that up while we wait there for tomorrow evening flight, though. Akira gives the 2 large black traveling bags on the floor a hearty pat. She probably came to help pack and make sure everything was in order on Lily's hand before going together with her. Lily, will you be okay over there? I'll be alright, I assure you. I leave Akira looking for me as well, and you know that she is reliable. But... Don't worry, Hanako. I have your phone number after all. We can stay in touch. With Akira's help, I could send you things over the internet as well. Hi, don't use me just because you want to learn how to use a computer. She's blind! The computer is based on interface. Wait, she could actually become a hacker though. Because she could use only the command prompt with a text-to-speech. And she can use a computer perfectly, yeah. Hanako and Lily both giggle briefly, the mood lightening ever so little. That goes for you too, Isao. I promise I'll contact you once I'm in Scotland. I know, I'll be looking forward to it. Her offer may be kind, but we both know that this is a tantamount to breaking up. Tantamount? Let's see. Tantamount, equivalent in seriousness. The same as. Okay, yeah, it's the same as breaking up. I never heard of it. This equivalent. He's like, okay, yeah, stands very well. Neither of us has any illusions as to how well we manage a long-distance relationship. With Nari a word of prompting. Nari, without a maybe. Nari. Not. Without. Okay, without. Interesting. Let me save. Okay. The 4 of us begin the long, solemn walk to the school gate. The numerous lamps scattered around the Yamaku grounds failed to do much more than provide pinpoints of light in an otherwise dense darkness. A car parked on the road just outside the school grounds comes into view, shining black exterior reflecting the dimly lit lamps of Yamaku. It calls out to Aki in an effort to alleviate a bit of the heavy atmosphere. That's your car? What kind is it? Don't you know much about cars, do you? It's a Lancer Evo. Solid and speedy. Do we need to speed when there's some speed limit? Well, it's not as if I comment of my knowledge of the mark. I never really taken an interest in them. She gives a small sigh. She's been good. Pity I have to part with it tomorrow. Just like the summer house. You guys were the last to visit it before it changed hands. Turning back from my rather faulty attempt at small talk, I glanced at Hanako and Lilly, following behind us. By rights, Hanako should be leading Lilly, but it's rather definitely the other way around, as she clings tightly to Lily's arm. It's a depressing sight. So I guess that's it. Indeed. Although the time for everyone to say their farewells is now, nobody really wants to take the first step. It's as if the longer nobody speaks, the better the chances of them simply not leaving. Yeah, that's psychology, right? If I never say goodbye, they will never leave, huh? Lily, do you really have to go? I'm sorry, Hanako. I won't be leaving you forever, though. I can still call you. Isao will be still be here. I know, but Hanako just clutches all tighter to Lily's arm. After spending so long without anyone to call family, must be excruciating to have to say goodbye to one person that was as close as a mother as anyone could have been in her life. Lily lets a long, sad breath. All Aki and I can really do is stand by quietly, on the sidelines, since the only person that can solve this would be Lily herself. Eventually, Lily pulls her arm from Hanako's grip and holds both of her shoulders. Gently, a much more decisive way to address than I've ever seen Lily take with her. Hanako, remember when we first met? When you entered my room for the first time, after overhearing my consoling of a friend? You didn't say a single word for the entire night. Even as I poured you tea and talked, you sat silently and simply listened to what I said. Maybe she went away and you didn't realize? I don't know. and Hanako now, yeah, because I went away. It took many quiet meetings like that before you began to open up to me. But as you began to, I felt some of the happiest moments I've ever felt. I didn't become your friend because I pitied you, Hanako. I did it because I knew you were hiding not just from me, but from everyone. Your ambition, personality, interest, tastes. I didn't know any of them, and neither did anyone else. As you showed yourself to me, though, I began to realize the person that you were, and became sure that our meeting was a very special moment. But Lily cuts her words short as she brings her hand to Hanako's head and brushes her bangs to the side, almost patting, borderline. Almost head pat. Suddenly Lily icks Hanako. If Lily stays for her and not for me now. Gently pressing her lips to Hanako's forehead. As she pulls her head back, leaving Hanako all but speechless and her eyes moist, Lily beams a wide smile. I believe you are a very beautiful person, Hanako, and I'm certain that you will become a strong and confident woman. You're a very dear friend, and someone whom I love very much, just like Isao. As Isao? Oh no. I will never forget you for as long as I live. I may be leaving, but you have your own life here to lead, just as I do. You have your own friends and hobbies, and your own hopes after graduation. I want you to devote yourself to them, even after I'm not around anymore. This is why I think you'll be okay, because you are your own self, with your own life. You proved that to me. Never mind, she just friend-zoned her. Well, at least she didn't say more than Hisao. Hanako lowers her head in embarrassment, but nods as she does so. I understand. I know I have to say goodbye. I know you have to go your own way. But thank you, Lily, for everything. Thank you, Hanako. Will you be okay? There are a few seconds of silence before the answer comes. I will. Lily smiles, undoubtedly, at least partially in relief. That makes me very happy. Then, goodbye. Goodbye, Lily. And farewell to you as well, Isao. Goodbye, I'll miss you. She pauses for a moment before walking up to me. Her right hand, outstretched in front of her, takes a hold of my shoulder. Her left hand slowly and daintily reaches towards my face, taking my cheek in her palm. For a while, she simply holds my face, her fingers just slightly moving to take in its contours. Usually her hand would be warm when doing such a thing, but the night air is giving her skin a cool edge. I'm not sure how long we stay like this, her clouded eyes pointed just below my own, as she wears a wistful, almost distant smile. Eventually though, I take her cold hand in mine. It's difficult to do so, but with a sigh, I gently remove her hand from my cheek. I hope you have a long and happy life, Lily, no matter where you might go. Thank you, I make sure to. She can't go. It can't end without a last kiss, right? Also, I feel like we are heading to a bad end here, or the neutral end. She takes a long, trembly breath before turning slightly towards Akira's direction. Akira. Okay. With a nod, she takes Lily's hand and begins to guide her to the car parked outside the gates. They both walk slowly and deliberately, as if their movement have been rehearsed in advance. Maybe they are faking it. Maybe it's a prank, I don't know. What if it's a prank? That's a pretty messed up prank though. Well, only emotionally messed up prank, but still not something you want to do really. It's strange to feel like this now, watching somebody leave Yamaku. The feeling of unease I have now reminds me of the first time I walked through those black wrought iron gates that always looked far too pompous for what they were. Nice invisible bottle you have here. Wait, what with the bottle? Ah, mine. Yeah, it's water. It's sparkly water, carbonated. Pretty nice. I like sparkly water, okay. Not too much maybe, because, well, maybe depends. Too much is fine, just a little though. Just gives the edge of alcohol having too much sparkles. Now it's right, never mind. But if it's too much, I don't know, it's a weird sensation, but you don't drink too much sparkly water. It's an unbottled PNG. Yeah, you can only see the name. Not really, because maybe it blurs with the rest. All of us know full well that our lives are irreversibly changing. I'd always told myself that I just have to take life as it comes. But everything is changing so fast, so suddenly. In the end, Lily is an irreplaceable part of the lives of both Hanako and me. The news of Akira opening the passenger door for Lily brings me out of my thoughts. Her hand waving back as Lily gets in. See you guys! Take care of yourself! Goodbye, Hanako. Goodbye, Isao. Hanako's hand quickly shoots up, her face brightened by her enthusiastic farewell. Goodbye, Lily. See you, Akira, and goodbye, Lily. The door shuts, as we all put on our best happy farewell faces. Akira getting in the car herself and starting it up in short measure. Lily's hand can be seen waving through the tinted windows, both of our hands waving high as well. Just as every other time I've done such things, I can't quite work precisely why I, or Hanako, waved to her, given that she'd never see us doing so, but it doesn't matter. Even after that black shiny car goes down the hill and disappears into the dark night, we carry on waving and seeing Akira and Lily off. And then, they are gone. A strange stillness takes over as our hands return to our sides. What now, Hanako? What now? Well, We can start Hanako route since we are here, right? We can start Hanako route right now. We don't need the rest. Oh, hello, Generico. Yeah, it's Katawa Shoujo. We were just about to cry. Because it's the end where Lilly goes away. Lilly, why? I don't quite know why, or what I should do, or how I should feel. In the end, we just stand there, silently staring down at where the car disappeared from sight. Goodbye, Lilly. All I can do in response is place a hand on her shoulder. She looks at me for a few moments before looking back down the hill, secure in the knowledge that I'm still around for her. No, Skin Graft-chan. Who is Skin Graft? Ah, okay, she's the Skin Graft-chan, okay. It took me a moment. Ooh, gacha pull for Fado, let's go. So let's see, the Fado, here. And you got Blobert! Yeah, Blobert, the peculiar version, you know. You see now what I mean. What we'll do from now doesn't seem all that uncertain. We all have our own ambitions now, just as Lilly said. But even so, feels like there's a certain missing part in both of our lives now. Something that can never be replaced. But end. Wait, no, it's not over? I'm confused. Felt like the perfect moment to have a bad end. Maybe there's still hope? I don't know, I find work there. But I wanted to work as a science teacher. And he doesn't know English. Yeah, see now, bro. We have... Oh, no, this is me. We have the cooked Blobert here. I don't have the other butler for him. Lilly, my plane crashed and I'm an only survivor. That's drastic. How did you even call the emergencies? Maybe Lilly has a special phone. Or no, maybe she remembers She remembers the numbers to call, yeah. The snap of my mobile phone closing contrasts with the ambient chatter and noise, audible even in the hallway outside the library. It's the first day of summer holidays, a time that had perpetually seemed so far away, and yet it's now not only here, but also made painfully obvious by the students, or the lack thereof, left in the school. Most students return home to spend the holidays with relatives by now. The few that are left are mostly chatting between themselves, usually about what they intend to do in the coming weeks. It makes me feel like the odd one out for taking advantage of the school library being open for the first several days of the holidays. Wait, Yuko is working even now? In the holiday? Ostensibly it's for students to drop off any book they borrowed and have yet to return, and for those who will have their parents pick them up to help pass time until they get whisked away. Thanks to the recent lengthy phone call from my parents, which had so rudely woken me from my sleeping on a beanbag at the back of the library, I'm now in the latter category. Sliding my phone back into my pocket, this time remembering to set it to silent, I go back into the quiet and wholly placid room. It's a nostalgic sight. Just as when Lilly first led me to the library, the orange tint of sunset bats the room in its light, while Hanako sits on a beanbag, silently reading and Yuko fusses, just very visible behind the counter. Hanako especially has been noticeably more quiet than usual since yesterday's happenings. But I can't really blame her. It wasn't just me that depended on that person after all. I quietly walk back to the beanbag near her, where I'd sat before, being doubly careful not to make any unnecessary noise. Oh, this is the same image when we met her first time. The soft puff it gives as the bag takes my weight makes Hanako's eyes flick towards me, but only for a second. I get the feeling that Hanako's been quiet only partially out of sadness following Lilly's departure. Rather, she seems more thoughtful and measured than I expected. Perhaps due to her desire of working out how to deal with Lily's leaving, rather than just being depressed over it. Makes me feel a little proud. Hey Hanako? Well, well, if things went right, we could have adopted her, right? Yeah? Still going ahead with your idea of traveling? She gives a determined nod. I'll be starting in a day or two. Naomi decided to come with me too. Oh, wow, quick start. Where are you going first? I think we are going to start by going north, then loop down and go southward. Loop down? You'd go around the world? So Hokkaido's going to be first? Okay, suppose she means reach the top of Japan and then resume from below. That's a big trip, indeed. Or maybe they don't take a flight to loop below, they just use a Pac-Man effect, right? She gives another nod, more tentative than the last. The significance of that place is not lost on either of us. Yeah, we went on vacation there. Do you know how you're going to handle the traveling expenses and accommodations? Yeah, I worked everything out. I think it should be okay. Nami says she has her side worked out too. Yeah, what if they both plan to mooch from the other and they go without money? You know, if you need anything you can just call, right? I gave you my number before, any time of the day is fine. She gives a smile, which in itself feels like a small personal victory. I know. Thanks, Isao. Maybe Lily was right. Although I may offer Hanako any help I can give, I feel as if I know she doesn't need it. Is this returning into Hanako route? What if every route ends on its own except Lily's route, where it starts the Lily route, but cutting the Lily's scenes? She really has grown. Hanako plans for a holiday are in sharp contrast to my simple following of my parents' suggestion to stay with them. Holidays had always made me feel less excited than most though, so maybe this is just a return to the status quo. Before my heart attack, I'd always lived so aimlessly that holidays weren't all that much different from my everyday life anyway. After school I'd wander around a bit in the city, after hanging out with some friends, before making my way home to eat dinner with usually one of my parents, but rarely both. Their work schedules didn't leave much time for them to be home, and going there straight from school would just have meant I'd end up feeling bored. I was an urbanite through and through. Yeah, it's an epilogue. Since coming to Yamakuto, though, it feels like I've fundamentally changed as a person. The phone call with my parents erased any trace of doubt I might have held on that, in any case. Well before I had exercised a fairly normal level of independence for a teenager. That being not a whole lot, my parents were more than pleased to hear of my newfound ability in taking care of myself. Laundry, cooking for myself, cleaning, or in addition to other general chores that come from living without parents around. Just little menial things I've had to pick up, but with relative ease. Wait, menial? Not requiring much skill and lacking prestige. Ah, so now doing chores is not really prestigious, right? It's basic requirement almost. Okay. I mean, unimportant. Well, it's actually important though, because if you don't do the chores, the house will be a mess. You won't have clean clothes, dishes. I would argue it's actually pretty important. When I think about it, I'd always dependent on them, even if they hadn't been at home at all time. To say never depended on anyone after moving to the Yamaku dormitories would be far from the truth though. Excuse me? The two of us look up at the awkwardly fidgeting figure in front of us. Some things never change. It's getting close to closing time, so, Alright, I forgot that the library closes earlier during the holidays. Hanako and I both get up and dust ourselves off, placing our books back on the shelves. The fact that our tastes in reading material have a fair amount of overlap is useful at times. Hanako root when... With a bow to Yuko to apologize for taking so much time, Hanako takes her leave of us. See you tomorrow, Hisao. Bye. So want to stay with me after hours? Maybe now it's time. Yeah, Lilly root dead, Hanako root dead, but Yuko root. And with that, she walks out of the large wooden edging doors that herald the entrance to the library. She's a quiet person, isn't she? I suppose I should be surprised at a staff member sharing personal opinions like this. But after knowing Yuko for a while, it's largely expected. Our relationship is more personal rather than one with her acting as an authority figure. Yeah, I think that's how she is. She's got more confidence in herself those days though. I don't know her as well as you do, but I think I agree. It's nice to see her talking to people here. She never used to do that before. Yuko, you know about Lilly's leaving, right? She told me herself a few days ago. It must be hard leaving everyone behind like she is. She quickly looks back to me after she says this, probably remembering that I went to her for advice on the relationship between Lilly and me before. Are you going to be okay? Difficult question. It's somebody I'd rather not think about for now. Though, given more pressing issues. Something seems kind of off about this whole deal, don't you think? Off? What's off? Yuka appears to think for a while, absent-mindedly scrunching her face up in a variety of creative ways as she does so. I don't think I really know her well enough to make that kind of judgment. I'm sorry I can't be more help. It's fine, I was thinking aloud. I scratch my head in frustration. There's just so much stuff happening at once that I have no control over. Feels like I'm being swamped. I think everyone goes through times like that. What's important is to concentrate on what you can do, rather than what you can't do. At least that's how I see it. You're so wise, Yuko. You're so wise. What are you doing in my swamp? More like a verb, but a swamp indeed. If I didn't think like that, I don't think I'd be able to manage my life as it is. She says with a smile and a light tone, but her words are far from any kind of joke. Being pulled between two jobs as she is, just to hopefully make enough money not to only live but also for the university, must be exhausting. University by itself is exhausting even. Yeah, that thing. Perhaps that's why, coming from her, this feels like it has more meaning than if it had come from most others. I guess you got a point here. Thank you for your advice once again, Yuko. She bows deeply and smiles again, before making her way back to the counter where she spends so much of her time. The tiny wings of the cardboard crane in my fingers are only just visible in the dim light of my room. Just a little of the moonlight being able to peek through the curtains and around the edges. Oh, I see it! I lie still in my dark bed for a long time, idly looking up at a little origami bird. Feels like a lot happened since Lilly folded this, but at the same time, Feels like very little has changed. Compared to everyone else, I'm back to square one. I might have newfound idea of where I want to go in life, but that's hardly something that affects me now. Hanako changed, I know that much. If anything, she must make me feel like I got no excuse to be like this, considering her previous situation. Lilly though, I turned the bird in my fingers another way, looking at it from yet another angle. Yeah, as a wise man once said, it depends on the point of view. Just rotate. Heavy Rain cover! Wait, what if he becomes the developer of Heavy Rain? When I first met her, she seems aloof and perhaps distant. Her actions were always careful, precise, and her carefully maintained composure gave the appearance of unerring confidence and serenity. Unerring probably means unbending. Unfalling, yeah. So, my blade is unerring! Yeah, unbending sounds better though. In the context at least. Confidence and serenity. In time, she became less formal. Just a bit, but enough. Felt good to see her lowering her inhibition around me and opening up, even just a little, of her own accord. As if I was seeing her real self, slowly become more vibrant and visible. Now though, I'm beginning to have doubts. Perhaps they are to be expected after what is, effectively, the two of us breaking up. They don't feel new or strange though, rather like an old book being found and dusted off. I soon realized, after meeting Lilly, that she saw me as she did Hanako, as someone who needed help and care. At first, I simply thought that we'd be fine as friends, helping each other through our limited time together in school. But then I began to treasure the moments together more and more. From our quiet walks to our talking over lunch, the good sides of her personality become even more obvious and ever more likable. The absence caused by Lily's trip to Scotland to visit her long-distant family and sick aunt only made me realize how much I liked just being around her, and I had thought that she felt a similar way. For her though, maybe that wasn't everything to our relationship. Even after she returned to Japan, that just meant she lost her family once again, after meeting them for such a brief time. She lived so much of her life without her family around, not to mention with Akira working long hours. She had little choice but to be like that. I thought her sense of independence to be a good and admirable trait. It was in stark difference to my reliance on my parents before my heart attack, as reluctant as I may have been to admit it. However, it also meant that she never let people get too close to her. She lost her family likely due to her blindness. Okay, to be clear, she didn't lose her family. Her family abandoned her. Went to a different school from anybody she knew because of it, and worked all the harder to make sure she didn't end up a burden on her sister and those around her. And now Akira's going to Inverness, just like the family she thought she'd lost. Which the family doesn't deserve, Lilly though. They abandoned her, they can't just welcome her back as nothing happened. She never told me of her plans, as conflicted as she was about them. Lilly didn't want to be a burden on anyone, including me. I'm a baka. Never questioned it. I never tried to be there or asked why she needed me to. I just set my life up and expected it to stay that way forever, with the two of us having a nice long relationship where we pushed forward towards our future together. A small pit of frustration and anger at myself wells up in my chest. I just let everything happen, never even trying to help Lilly. Just her being there was enough. I thought I could keep going on if that were true, but that would never have been enough. It was a childlike dependence on somebody, without any attempt to understand or help the situation. Wait. It was a childlike dependence on somebody. Like a child, like the kid of Lilly, so it was mommy issues at the end. At the end, there were mommy issues. Thanks to that, I lost Lily. I lost the one person I loved most. Because I wasn't there for her when she needed me. With an increasingly angry feeling washing over me. Wait, I'm missing the finger. What I wasn't there for her? I didn't push... Wait! Was there a thing where I didn't push for... Was there an option where I didn't insist? Maybe that was the wrong choice I made. Yes, there were choices where I didn't insist, but I remember I insisted at one choice. But maybe there were another one, I don't remember. With an increasingly angry feeling washing over me, I turned over and set the crane back on the desk, next to my clock. The place where it had lived since that day when she folded it for me. Since that day when she herself said that my burdens needn't be my own. The obnoxious bright red numerals of my alarm clock threw the darkness of the room into my tired eyes. 10 o'clock, evening. Curfew will be soon. I wonder. Akira mentioned they'll be leaving this evening. Do you want to rush and give them a final goodbye? Yes! I have no idea when their flight is, but that means there's a chance. However small that they might not have already left. Adrenaline starts to move through my body as I sit up on my bed, my eyes suddenly wide with possibility. There's no guarantee they haven't left. Indeed, it's likely that they already have, but there's also a chance they haven't. However small it may be. Just this once, just as I should have before. I stand up and rush over to my cabinet, throwing out some clothes as fast as I can, and sliding them on in quick succession. Each second that goes by is a second that I can't regain, a second that might be the difference between catching them and losing them forever. Even if I fail, I have to try. I can't let her leave everything behind without even trying to stop her. Without, just this once, being there for her. With the last of my clothes slipped in, I on... Aww. I like his determination. Let's go! You can't miss this chance! I grabbed the phone off the desk. Luckily, the number for a local taxi company is still my call history. A gruff, unenthusiastic voice announces the name of the company while I pace around the room. Take some effort to slow down my voice and keep it clear over the phone. The chilly night air sweeps against me as I open the dormitory door, but nevertheless I keep up my brisk speed as I half jog, half run out of the school gates. Might not be curfew yet, but it's precariously close. If there were a guard around, they'd no doubt have some questions for me, but it looks like I managed to come out just before they arrive. Or they're around the corner. A moon! My pace picks up as I make my way through the school gardens. Their nighttime allure all but lost when I begin to run to the school gate. The lamps of the courtyard, dim as they were, provide just enough illumination to light the way and prevent me from tripping over. The buildings themselves take on the rustic, almost antique-looking edge when I glance at them. Looking back, it seems strange that they once appeared so dark and looming to me. Now they just look to be somewhat anachronistic school buildings, the same as any other bar they age. Leaving the gates behind me, I pull up to stop just before the taxi. Parked just as Akira car has been, its golden brightly lit sign looks out of place in the quiet country backdrop. I impatiently squeeze myself through the door, giving the driver the address for where the two should hopefully be staying. By the time the taxi pulls up after its trip at maddeningly casual speed. Maddeningly casual speed. Yeah, like, it's too slow, but it's the right speed. It's well and truly deep into the night. Fun fact, I always drive below the speed limit. Even if other cars go fast. I don't care. I'm not driving to come to come to the place earlier. I drive to go to one place to another without freaking dying. So yeah, I always follow the speed limit, even if even 10 kilometers below, even sometimes. Because yeah, you can go faster, but you can also live. The problem is when I need to take a turn where other cars are coming from another lane, which it takes too much time to get the safe distance from other cars. Oh well, another that's another matter entirely. The house is truly enormous. Its sheer size much larger than I'd expected, and ominously still. Fearing the worst, I asked the driver to stay just in case my efforts are for naught. People in Turin. Red lights? What are they? Well, a reminder that the orange light should be slow down, not go fast to avoid the red light. Gentle reminder. A single press on the fancy intercom system outside the gate produces a short electronic melody in the otherwise silent road. It's not long before a somewhat deep, gruff voice can be heard from it. Akamichi residents, state your name and why you're bothering us this late. I press on despite inwardly witching at the reasonable annoyance audible in his voice. I'm Misawa Nakai. I was hoping to meet Lilly or Akira, if they're still here. Surprisingly, I managed to summon quite some energy to my voice, enough to make the other side of the intercom silent. A few seconds pass. Just before I press the button again and ask what's going on, a light turns on outside the front door. It strains my eyes to try and make out who is coming through, but as it comes past a large, parked car with fishing rods sticking out in the back, his identity becomes clear. It's the father of... it's the father of the mute girl. I forgot the name. At the moment, I don't have it. Shizune. His face is typically placid and emotionless as he saunters up to the gate. He's still childlike in his mannerism, despite his demeanor. With the press of a few buttons from behind the fence, the gate slowly opens. Shizune, we remember this. Again, I'm not good with names. Every time I start a game, it takes me like 4 streams to remember names decently. That's why my games I never put too many complicated names. Ah, I forgot about him. Isao, what are you doing here? I think this is the most emotion I've ever heard from his voice. Not that it would be hard to reach that mark. Akira told me that she and Lilly would be staying here before they left for their flight. I need to talk with Lilly, just one last time. Are they still here? No. The look on his face says everything. I failed. I was too late. The one time when I actually needed to act quickly and... Actually, it's possible. Huh? What is it? He's a bit taken aback by my fervor, but I can't help it at this point. They left not long ago, only a few minutes before you arrived. If you go straight to the airport, you might be able to... Isao? I dart back towards the waiting taxi, grabbing what little money is left in my pocket as I go. Thanks, Hideaki! With that I take a seat, and in a short order bark out my destination. My chest beats wildly as I tear down the street. My body... Wait. Yeah. Is this the airport? No. Hideaki route, dang it! So close. My chest beats wildly as I tear down the street, my body twisting this way and that to slip between the pedestrians walking back and forth beside me. Okay, we got off the taxi. With the road solidly blocked by taxis and other cars, dropping off passengers and picking up others in the time they have to wait, we ended up having to stop almost a block away. But that's in the past now. What matters is reaching Lilly. One foot hits the ground, the other quickly following without the slightest thought. As if my legs have taken on a life on their own, and all my mind can do is concentrate on the view ahead of me. Just one glimpse of the long hair of hers, that long, yellow hair, that was the same color as the wheat that stretched as far as the eye could see. In the end, I depended on Lily, just like Hanako did. Even after we started going out, it still didn't feel like she really ever let herself depend on me. Except for one moment. That one moment where we held each other tightly on that bright yellow field. At that time, she must have feared losing me, just as she did everyone else. That's why, just this once. The night air wraps around me, draining every remnant of warmth out of my body, to the extent that it feels more like midwinter than a summer night. Well, it rained a lot some days ago. My fingers, my hands, my feet, they all feel increasingly cold. The sound of my passing crowds is reduced to no more than a background hum, while the sound of my shoes hitting the pavement echoes loudly. Every step surging towards the person I have to catch. Forced by my chest tightening in response to the cold of the night, I rest an arm over it to try and settle it down. No, don't die, Hirizao. When the airport comes into view though, I realize the feeling as one I felt before. Not now. Of all the times for this, please not now. I take a gulp and soldier on regardless, pushing my body as far as it will go. Sweat pours off me as I hurtle forward, my shoulder hitting someone's side and my mind suddenly flooding with emotions and memories. I continue on without an apology. I had to keep moving now. If I stop, I'm not sure I could begin again. And even if I could, it would be all for naught if I'm not in time. I hit another person, another, offering little resistance to getting bounced about. My feet feel numb. My arms are losing all feeling. My chest forcing me to hunch over awkwardly, tightening even more. Ugh, that afternoon in the snow, that time when my life irreversibly changed. Images of Iwanako and that damned letter flash over my mind. The first love letter I'd lost, thanks to my condition. Not the first love I'd lost. I can't let that happen again. I'm about to cry. I don't care what happens to me anymore. I just need to see her one last time. There! A silver of yellow and white comes into view some distance down the road, her figure silhouetted by the lights emanating from the airport entrance. Lily! Lily! Lily, stop! Please, Lily! Come on, Lily, I know your hearing is far beyond normal. Ah! My view suddenly spins out of control and ends up on the ground. My body half-heartedly sprawled after hitting someone and stumbling over. Before I can assess the damage, an unbelievable pain ignites in my body. All my thoughts are blanked as I curl up and frantically clutch at my chest. You died! Almost got the ending! Are you okay? That was a bad fall. Maybe it was a passerby. A pain. I can't. Ah! Any sharp knock could do me in. Any overextension. I thought I could overcome my limits this once. Something is wrong with him! What's the matter? The voices of those gathering around me are gradually replaced with loud ringing in my ears. By now, I'm unable to move my head. Well, we may get a little attention. My eyes turn upwards to see the mute moving over their lips. Even as I clutch my chest, I realize I can't feel my fingers anymore, nor my feet. It feels like my entire body is shutting down, starting from my extremities. With one last effort, I turn my head down the road towards the airport entrance that's casting its light over me. Lily's there, behind the crowd. Her head is tilted, but only just slightly. I can feel my vision dimming as I try to yell out, but nothing emerges from my mouth despite my best efforts. Slowly, but surely, my vision begins to black out the scene before me. So, this is how it ends. I failed. I was so close. So very close. But at the very last moment, my condition seized my chance at a new life and dragged me back. I'm fine. I'm not fine, never mind. Now I'm going to die, sprawled out just meters from an airport, with a crowd of babbling people surrounding me, and with Lily leaving for Scotland just a little distance ahead. Lee. That word extinguished the last of my energy. The world falls into a deep, inescapable blackness as every muscle in my body shuts down. I'm sorry, Lily. I was too late. No, please don't tell me. No. Okay, wait, it's not over, it's fine. We have a chance, we may have a chance. It's fine. We can keep the tears for later. No, I think it's the epilogue. I think it's the epilogue now. Now, Levin appears. What's going on? As I slowly open my eyes, a bright white light assaults my retinas. What if Lily noticed us and stayed here to take care of us? Well, stayed here with us, because at the end she changes the idea. Maybe there's still a chance, I tell you. For minutes I just lay where I am, mindlessly staring ahead while my scattered thoughts coalesce in my slowly waking mind. Oh wait, coalesce comes maybe from coalescenza, which is in the healing process after a illness. Let's see. No, combine stuff in the mass or whole. So the thoughts form. Yeah, come together into one entity. So before we had multiple entities thinking in the mind. Okay, nice. I'm saving it. Slowly but surely, the white begins to come into focus as a bare expanse begins to be drawn across my field of vision. What is the ceiling? Am I in the hospital? Was it all a dream? Or maybe I'm at Lily's home. It's only when the light fixtures come into view that my mind clicks that this is the ceiling above me. Oh, where am I? Feels like a clinic, a hospital, right? Slowly levering myself up, I silently absorb through all my senses the details of the room I'm in. The smell and taste of strong bleach hang in the air, leaving the impression of place just slightly too clean to be natural. Inoffensive, pale peach colored walls, all perfectly painted without a crack, stain or imperfection. A single frame painting... The mosquito... wait. Give me a second. It's still here. Okay, wait. I need to get my weapon. I need to get my... I'm coming back. I swear. Okay. Come here. It's still there. Awesome. Awkward position though. Very awkward position. Below the screen. No! I missed it! No! No, wait. Mission failed. Luckily now I put the... how it's called? The net. To avoid at least making other mosquitoes entry in the bad area region. At least the mosquito didn't appear like 3 minutes before. Would have been a little anticlimactic, right? Though I have the weapon now. Now I can fight. The eternal war against mosquitoes is still on. A single frame painting hangs on the wall, perfectly straightened. Like the walls, it's as boring as inoffensive as can be. My attention is grabbed by the translucent curtain, waving across my vision. My eyes following it to the open window it covers. When I move my right arm to try to lift myself up and look through it, I feel the caddered dig... The caddered? Wait, what's the caddered? A flexible tube. Ah, okay, yeah. I suppose the tube used in infirmaries and hospitals. Yeah, okay, yeah, I know it. I just didn't know that it was called like this. Why the first image? Why every image is showing something explicit? Oh well. It's only now, though, too, that I noticed the cannula tubes winding around my cheeks and in my nose. After some fidgeting, I settled for just looking around the corner of the window. Where am I? Did she bring me to Scotland with her? Nah. She kidnapped me and brought me to Scotland. What if, beyond the thick leaves of several large trees, I can see the greenery below, backing out onto a field. A customary island of green on the outskirts of the city. Judging by the sun outside, it's noon. Of which day, though, I'm not sure. Yeah, absolutely, I would not be against it. So, I'm in hospital once again. I left a long, tired breath as I tried to collect my scattered thoughts, my mind seemingly cast in a dozen directions all at once, with as many emotions running through me. After slowly lying back down, I decided to start at the beginning. Why I'm here. I cast my mind back, but I can't work out a smooth recollection of what happened. The events of last night, or whichever night it was, came back more as a series of snapshots than a cohesive memory. Lying on my bed, looking at the origami bird. Talking to Hideaki outside of the Akamichi residence. Running down the street, passing pedestrians and bumping into more and more of them. Falling. Looking up at the searingly bright airport entrance. Seeing Lilly back as I lay on the ground. The silence of the private room suddenly feels overwhelming. That's it. I had my chance to correct my mistake, and I blew it. I think there's the possibility that Lilly stayed here and is waiting for you at the hospital. Outside the room, maybe. I don't know. Whether I was at fault for neglecting my medication and disregarding to please myself, or my body was for giving out so soon, doesn't matter now. All that matters is that, once again, I'm alone. The pastel blue pillow yields with a little resistance as I let myself fall back onto the bed. It's starchy case. Okay, what's starchy now? Starchy. Containing starch or stiff with starch? Ah, okay, it's a thing, starch. I suppose it's the stuff filling the mattress, right? Okay, I didn't know it was called starch. Lilly, I stayed here all night watching over you for how much watching I can do. Good sentence to hear. Providing little comfort. Compared to the darkness of last night's events, the bright light of the room around me is striking. All it does though is emphasize how otherworldly places like this are. Arrhythmia. A strange word. A foreign, alien one. One that you don't want to be in the same room with. A rain condition. It causes the heart to act erratically and occasionally beat way too fast. It can be fatal. Would be sound a nightmare for Lilly. Would spend the entire night listening to his heart, wondering if it will keep beating. That is a pretty tense situation. Yeah, that would be the only sound she would hear. Not really a happy sound. Well, yeah. It's better if there are sounds. Too much silence is deafening. It was a miracle that you were able to go on so long without anything happening, they said. And then it did. My condition had taken away everything. My old school was of no importance anymore. My home was reduced to a faraway place. Both of my friends and my first love simply stopped visiting after a length of time. I became cynical and embittered. Comes from bitter, but what's the M particle? Well, I become bitter. What's the difference between bitter and embittered then? I wonder what's the particle M doing here. Because it's bittered, or maybe it's not called bitter. Maybe it's bitter and become bit. When you become bitter, it's not bittered, it's embittered. Okay, maybe that's just a word. Distant and subdued. In my defense, no person could avoid death after such a thing happening to them. Nonetheless, I left the hospital as a very definitely changed person. Things changed. I made new friends in Hanako, Shizune and Misha. I found a new sense of home in my dormitory, a new interest in science and the world around me. And I found a direction to my life that I never felt before. Wait. Do you remember the mosquito I missed before? I actually hit it with the border of the racket. Unexpected. Good ending. But I also discovered other things. The sense of isolation in Yamaku and its surroundings was not entirely unwelcome. The quiet giving a peace of mind. Oh. The quiet giving... Oh? The quiet... Oh. The quiet giving a peace of mind I may not have found elsewhere. But it gave the area a feeling of being pushed out of the way, of being kept out of sight. People in the streets would sometimes glance awkwardly, or quickly turn their heads as they realized they were staring. Even if my condition wasn't visible, my uniform was. And if it weren't, I was still different. I took 17 pills a day, morning, midday, and night. 17! That's a lot. My scar, though hidden behind clothing, was still a permanent mark of my condition. Most of all, there was a very real possibility of death. A bad fall, an absent-minded hard hit on the back, a simple sprint taken too far. Anything could have set my heart off, and several times I tittered on the edge of the abyss, even with all the care I took of myself. But that was fine. I could have lived with all that, because there was one final thing I found. Or rather, refound, after entering Yamaku, which was once again snatched away before my eyes. It's only now I realize just how delicate my newfound sense of happiness was. Everything depended on her, the linchpin of my life since I first entered Yamaku as a Sullen, confused and nameless transfer student. Wait, Sullen? Bad-tempered and sulky, but also maybe in depressed mood. Yeah, I think it can be used as a noun as depressed mood. Okay. Weird. Confused and nameless transfer student. Let me save it again. Okay. Lilly Soto was the one person I could depend upon above all others, and who reciprocated the love that I felt for her. But I failed her, and only realized it all too late. I thought that I could just set my life up and continue that way forever. But the real world doesn't work like that. I realized the meaning of those words, only to be struck down as I confronted my failure to do so in time. The surroundings are too familiar. It's as if Yamaku was but a dream, and I'm still recovering from my first major heart attack. Maybe that's why I feel so tired. It feels almost as if I lived the entire last few months of my life in the space of minutes. The weight of my eyelids closes my eyes, my physical and mental exhaustion letting me offer no resistance. Unintelligible mumbling from my head of the bed steals me out of my sleep. With my eyes still closed, I can focus and make out someone, presumably a nurse, bidding farewell to a doctor. As I open my eyes, I notice the door closing in my peripheral vision. The doctor stands reading some notes off a clipboard held in his hand, carefully looking over the pages. After consulting his obviously very important documents, he looks up and notices my gaze. It's now I notice something slightly odd about his expression and general disposition, but I quite can't put my finger on it. What's it? Maybe it's a private hospital. Lilly paid it for us. So, if the theory of Lilly is still here is right. And the doctor is Yuko. What? Third job. Oh, I see. You're awake, Mr. Nakai. A quick glance to my bed end to verify my name. Though, how does he know my name? Maybe, well, I suppose since I paid the taxi, I had the wallet on me. Oh no, we're in the bed ending. I had to work a third job, bizarre. It shows that these documents didn't have it written on them. I must admit this is a bit unfortunate. Your parents visited just earlier while you were asleep. I could notify them you're awake now if you'd like. Thanks, that would be good. And your girlfriend. I give a somewhat dazed reply, most likely the one you'd expect, before really thinking about what I'm saying. Not a problem. If you have any questions you'd like to ask, I'd be happy to answer them. That's it, unless you prefer to rest. The aesthetic still going to be affecting you a bit, I'm afraid. Of course. That's why I felt so strange the first time I woke up. I shook my head, not wanting to dislodge any pipers or cause myself any more discomfort than necessary. The doctor politely puts down his clipboard in response. My question is, what happened? You unfortunately had another heart attack. While not as severe as your first, you were very lucky to occur so close to the hospital. After being stabilized, you were taken to the operating room. What followed was keyhole surgery. What's a keyhole surgery? Do I want to know? To insert a temporary pacemaker. What girlfriend? Hideaki shows up! No! That's not... Oh well. All in all, the incident happened 2 days ago, with emergency treatment being carried out very soon afterwards. Since then, we've kept you under close observation while you were asleep. Will I be alright? Compared to the procedure carried out for your first heart attack, this was relatively minor. While you will have to undergo surgery once more in a few days' time to remove the pacemaker, assuming there are no complications, there should be no lasting implications. He continues talking, the subject shifting to a repetition of facts about arrhythmia and my medication that I already know for the most part. I start to nod and feign interest while my mind drifts. I begin to think about how perfectly hung the inoffensive painting hanging on the wall behind his shoulder is, and how neat and sterile the surroundings are, even including the doctor himself. If my wandering bores you, you are quite welcome to say so, Mr. Nakai. Mr. Nakai, Lord knows I lose track of myself sometimes. He gives a short chuckle at his self-deprecating joke, as I grimace awkwardly, having been rather badly cut out. The doctor chuckle sounds different from that of the nurse at Yamakudo. Come to think of it. As I ponder why, I realize why the man in front of me feels just that little bit off. His smile is neat and sterile. He delivers his little joke perfectly with a customary inoffensive chuckle. Do we know him? No. It is like, rather than talking to the man whose name is neatly printed on the name tag pinned on his lab coat, I'm merely interacting with an actor reading off a pre-rehearsed script. Every action having been choreographed beforehand. Are we in a scam? I don't know. I suppose he has to be this way though, being a doctor. He has to keep his neat and sterile smile when chatting to the girl with cancer. Okay, a hypothetical girl, right? When chatting to the girl with cancer slowly spreading through their body, when reassuring the woman who will surely die from childbirth, and with every other terminal and critically ill patient. That little bit of distance, that little bit of aloofness, makes me wonder if I've been too harsh, considering it's a disposition far from beyond being adopted only by people in his profession. After all, the one I loved kept at some distance from others herself. Looking up to the doctor again, I realized I'd been in thought with my head bowed for some time. I understand you must be tired. You've been through a lot, as I mentioned before. The anesthetic will be still affecting you. I'll let you get some rest and tell your parents you're woken up for you. Yeah, thank you. And your girlfriend? No? I was hoping for the sentence. Okay, maybe she just enters. It's a bigger impact, right? He gives a curt nod before picking up his clipboard and making his way to the large white door, closing it behind. In the end, I am alone again. Lilly's gone. Akira is gone. Hanako would be traveling, and even my parents have already left the hospital. 4 pale pitch walls, one with ceiling and a single open window to look out towards the world outside. It's hard to think of the future when the past is crowded around you. Claustrophobic in its neat, sterile, starchy, bleach-smelling grape. Lost for what to do or focus in, I content myself with sleeping the time away, as if this were just another dream, like Yamaku had been. White. A sterile, clean white for a sterile, clean room. Come on, Isao, maybe Kenji come to with everyone but Kenji. We start with another conspiracy and say, oh wait, hey, you know, those tubes, those are a conspiracy to make you pay more. Let's remove them. No, Kenji, no. And Hanako dies. Hisato dies, never mind. Welcome to the white space. Stab-woo. My eyes open. I simply... Wait, is this the carry-on we gave Lilly? I stared at the ceiling for some time. Whose eyes are those eyes? It's about as interesting as the television would be, mounted in its metal rack hanging off the ceiling ahead of the bed. It's very, very low, actually. I barely hear it. Let's see. Okay. I restored the audio. Yeah. It's way lower than the usual audio. Indeed, the television saw its entire use during the time my parents were here. Left home quietly as they waited for me to wake, it was about as banal as it had been the first time I had ended up in the hospital. Earlier today, an attending nurse had offered to turn off the EKG speakers. I refused because the sound is so entirely normal to me now. It's comforting in a way. The metronome-like regularity gives at least some feeling that time is moving, even in a place such it is. After some time of listening to its beeping while I fully awakened though, I realized there's another sound in the room. Concentrating all my efforts on listening, a task made rather easy by the lack of distractions, a tiny, teeny melody can be heard. light and quiet. The music sounds almost fragile as it's dwarfed by the HG pulses. Tilting my head just slightly to the side in an effort to see the source of the melody, without dislodging any of the sensors and pipes stuck onto me, I noticed a little wooden box. Oh, yes, yes! Sitting on the nightstand next to the bed. My mouth opens just slightly, while I silently watch the tiny yellow metal drum slowly rotate inside, the little bumps on its surface gradually moving in and out of sight. The music box. It's the one I gave. The creaking of... Oh, yes, yes! The creaking of the door breaks me out of my reverie, my head and heart remaining still as my eyes turn to see who comes through. Long tan skirt, pitch off the shoulder sweater, pale, almost porcelain skin, blue clouded eyes and long yellow hair. Yes! There is how, since you're not dead yet, I put a bomb in this music box. It will explode as soon as the music ends. Why? All I can do is stare as Lily slowly walks into the room, her fingers lightly running over the wall for orientation, and my mind comes to a shardening halt. I want to play a game without... Why? No! Lily? She stops mid-stride, her entire body tensing. Isao, was that you? Her voice is quiet and pensive, echoing all expressions. Because of the girls almost killed Isao at least once already. Well, not intentionally though. Except me, maybe. I thought you were... Lily takes another tentative step forward, then another, as if she were holding herself back. Amy did it like a dozen times. We lost count, yeah. Her control over her composure is for naught, though, and she finally rushes over to where I lay as the last of her resistance fails. Oh, I'm slightly taken aback when she grabs hold of me, hunching over as tears begin to fall from her cheeks, since only minutes ago I thought she was on the other side of the world. After a moment of hesitation, I rest my right hand on her soft shoulder. Isao! Lily's body trembles as her tears blot the pale green sheets, her emotions floating through her carefully maintained exterior. With her face now closer, and made easier to see for her pale skin being lit by the sunlight from the window, I notice the cheeks being redder than they should be. It's okay, Lily, you don't need to... She rights herself quickly, her crying forcefully stiffed with both sadness and stubbornness remaining in her moistened eyes. Her prideful nature, always having been something to contend with, takes me off guard. Stop telling me not to worry about you, Isao! Just this one. Let me cry. I'm caught speechless. She waits for a response, but her composure breaks again after a handful of seconds. I swallow hard to try and settle my own emotions while she weeps onto my bed, a strange mixture of relief and depression welling up. Lily's here. She's finally here. I couldn't feel her skin under my hand. I hardly believed my own eyes. My efforts weren't for nothing. My body, attempt to take away everything that was important to me, once again has been foiled. But now, I don't feel as happy about it as I thought I would. Seeing her here, crying like this over me. This is the one thing I'd wanted to avoid since coming to love her. No, ever since leaving the hospital. I'm sorry, Lily, it's my fault I'm here. I shouldn't have tried to push myself so far. I give a self-deprecating snort. After months of keeping myself together so nobody would worry over me, I went and did something like this. I guess I'm pretty dumb. With a couple of sniffs and long breaths, Lily manages to pull herself together and calm down a little. Despite her red cheeks, moist eyes and the lines of her tears still visible, she delicately wears that weak smile she seems to so often give. You needn't to blame yourself. I heard later that it happened as you were running down the road after me, right? Still, she wipes her eyes with the back of her hand, returning more to her old self as the rush of emotions were off. Why did you run after me, Zhao? I moved to respond, but noticed her face tightening. Even after I said goodbye, and after I left Yamako Academy. She takes a moment to steady herself, her emotions almost bubbling up once again. I just wanted to say that I'm sorry. Sorry? For the times when I wasn't there when you needed me. Until now, I thought you just being there would be enough. I only needed you by my side to make any day feel better. Even if my body may be like this, I want to help you, Lily. To be there when you need someone. But you always were there, Zhao. Why did you want to go to Scotland, Lily? Why? Because Akira was going, and because my family summoned to their home. Why didn't you say that you wanted to go? I'm not stubborn often, but this time I think I need to be. I want you to stay here, Lily. I want you to stay where everyone you know lives, and where all your dreams and ambitions were made. If you choose to stay, and never leave your side, I won't let you lose another person. When I had my heart attack, I was snatched away from everyone and everywhere I knew. You showed me a new life after I came to Yamaku. I'd lost my past, but you showed me a future. It's true that I haven't always been there for you. I'm unreliable. Sometimes I lied, and I thought I'd come to understand you when I hadn't even understood myself. But that as I may, I want to give you a future as well. I want to be there for you, to share both your burdens and your happiness, just like I promised back in Hokkaido. I want you to trust me. I know I had problems coming to put my trust in you after losing so many people I know for my heart attack, but this is how I know that being unable to trust others can be awful. That's why I can't watch you just throw everything away like this. I never want you to go through what I did. I would do anything to stop that. You can be quite steadfast when you want to be, can't you? As I said, it's not often. My quick smile drops, though, as the IV in my arm digs in a little. It's a harsh reminder of the tether of my condition. Lily's face tenses, and I let out a gasp of pain, making me wish I stifled it better. All I can do is sigh in defeat. I try not to let anyone worry over me for the entire time since I left the hospital, but I can't even stop the one person I love most from crying over me. Even if I might finally be able to put my feelings into words, I feel pretty useless with a body like this. Every time I try to reach towards something, it was just snatched away, and even now things only turned out for the better due to luck. I guess that's something else I should apologize for. All I can ever do is make you worry, even now. There's very little chance I'll live anywhere near a full life. The feeling of Lily's warm, soft hand moving over my left cheek makes me lift my head up, a smile gentle and warm as she touches me. I think that is something very natural for you to say. You were always so sincere and self-conscious. You were also reserved and mild-mannered, and patient to a fault with Hanako, yet curious about everything and everyone. When I said I missed you while I was with my family, I wasn't exaggerating. The thought of you was never far from my mind, and helped me through that time. That's why I was so confused about what to do when my family summoned me. Even after I thought I had made my decision, you tried your hardest to challenge me about it. I didn't confess to you out of pity or believing you were somehow different. I confessed because I never wanted to lose you. I want you to always be part of my life. You're a very beautiful person, Isao. Your heart changes none of that. Please, don't apologize. For a long time, silence reigns the room. I'm not sure what this newborn feeling inside of me is, but it pales into insignificance as I wordlessly gaze at Lily's smiling face, warm and gentle as it has always been. It's only as her thumb crosses my cheek, wiping away a single drop of moisture, that I realize that it's all I have ever wanted. For what feels like the first time, I give an earnest, wide smile as Lily feels it against her palm. No, that's so sweet. She returns the gesture. More time passes before either of us says a word, neither of us needing speech to communicate our feelings to each other. I know I can't promise you that I'll always be around or that we'll be together forever. With some difficulty, I slowly lift my hand, pressing it on her pale shoulder. But I think I can at least take you to the next year's Tanabata festival to make up for making you miss these years. Lily's expression is one of surprise, though I can't say I blame her. You remember that? I got a pretty good memory sometimes. I forgot about it actually. She raises her head a little and takes her hand from my cheek, giving a small amused giggle. I smile absent-mindedly how earnest it is, almost girlish in its lightness. Still smiling warmly, she collects herself and stands upright with a hand resting on my chest. I feel like I'm seeing her for the first time, the sun from the window glowing behind her, just as it did when I first walked into that room where she was drinking tea. Very well then, shall we make a promise between the both of us to go to the next year's Tanabata together? Even if she can't see me doing so, I nod approvingly. I promise. I promise. I'm crying, I'm about to cry, I swear, I'm fine, I swear, I'm not crying. We did it! Can you see what I can see? Lily's good ending! We got it! Oh. Wow. That was the most emotional ending so far. I expected the plot twist, but... Well, I expected sometime after we woke up in the hospital. Before I thought it was really the bad ending when we collapsed on the floor. Wow. You could say that Lily is well. Ah, I mean the achievement. Well, I can see what she can see because I can just close my eyes. We can see the ending because it's Lily root. Okay, wait, let me skip then. Okay. Oh, the epilogue. Akira, Lily and I silently sit on the grassy embankment high above the local town, the breeze gently blowing through the cloudless sky. We may just be... Okay, let me guess. There's Akira, so maybe they are in Scotland. So maybe Isao found a job here, but needed to learn English though. Maybe he's studying university here. But the view is entirely unexpected. Oh, wrong click. Lily sits beside me, her eyes closed, as the gentle breeze flows through her hair. This is a nice area. Yeah, I never knew a place like this was anywhere near Yamaku. And I had to be the one to find it, of course. Akira's grin is genuine, but her tone is slightly different from her usual carefree nature. It's good that you're out of the hospital though, Isao. Nobody is more glad than I am. I can't stand hospitals. So you two going back to school tomorrow? Okay, no, so they are still at Yamaku. Yep. Akira chuckles in amusement before looking back out to the town below, the trees between the buildings swaying in the wind. Pity we couldn't go up north for the summer holiday or get to Tanabata. I wouldn't worry, there's always a next time. You'll be graduating before the next summer vacation, won't ya? Yeah, still time. There will be still college after that, mind. Same one? Likely, we both have high enough scores to meet the entry requirements. You sound so sure. Don't worry, you're better than I in most subjects. I guess we'll work it out in due time. That's the way. Just enjoy yourselves in Yamaku while you're here. Lily gives a sad sigh at the distinction made between Akira and the two of us. Do you really need to go back to Scotland? Yeah, the folk are already out for my blood as it is. You weren't meant to stay this long. She gives her trademark wide grin. Yeah. Setting my boyfriend up with a passport took some time. Oh, they came back together. You're taking him with you? Just for a while at first. He's a surprisingly worldly guy, so I think he'll do just fine. Akira gives an amused snort. If our father had his way, I'd have gone a long while ago. I just couldn't pass up an excuse to stay with my favorite little sister a little while longer, though. Oh, she found a new one. Still a fanboy, right? She leans right and gives Lily a playful hug, cheering her up considerably. It's nice to be with you one last time, though. For what's worth, I'm in the same boat. Huh, thanks, you two. I'll try and come back sometime, don't worry. It's a shame that the business keeps you busy. The place won't run itself, I'm afraid. I think it's going to be just the same over there. Considering that, I better get going. Have fun, Akira. I will do. With a slight grunt, she lifts herself with her hands and stands up. Well, I better be off. The plane won't wait for me after all. She has a certain unusual wistfulness in the tone of her voice. Her eyes on her sister. I'll be okay, Akira. Oh yeah, I know. Come now, it isn't that bad. You'll be able to see us again soon. Well, Lily definitely can't. It is strange to have Lily reassuring a doubting Akira for once. She really has changed. Goodbye, Akira. Bye. For a second, the dark-clad figure looks down at the both of us, smiling widely. Wait, what was clad? Clad is a name of a waterfall music that inspired me on a game that you might see on on a blob contest. Clad, clothed, covered with cladding, or as a verb? No. Yeah. Covered. Yeah, covered in black, makes sense. Okay, perfect. Though, why the music was called Clad then? It was some sort of street electronic music. Weird. She lets out a long, slightly wavering breath to steady herself before leaving, but eventually slips her hand in her pocket and turns on her heel. And with that she walks away, on one hand held in the air as she goes. See you later, you two! A jazz tune with no beat, melody or direction to the very end. Is this criticizing the jazz? After a few moments of sitting silently, Lily and I pick ourselves up and dust ourselves off. Turning towards her with a broad smile, I hold out my hand. Shall we be off then? She takes my hand in hers with a gentle nod and a smile as beautiful and warm as ever. And we shall, Isao. Yes! Yes! As we set off towards the school, that wonderful smile engraves itself onto my memory. That wonderful smile that we both share. Our past may be scattered and at times overshadowed by sadness, but they are also an irrevocable part of our lives. Even if I could change a single thing, I wouldn't, because my past was what led me here. That's why. Dude, it's a touchy moment, okay? They're alone. It's consentient. It's dead, okay? Just for this time. Come on, think of it. It's the first one that doesn't have the act on the last act. Yeah, that's right. I wonder how they did the endings in the censored version then. That's why, even with all that happened to us before, and all that we may befall us, together we'll keep walking forwards. Forwards. towards the future. Our future. Oh, this has to be the best ending so far. And we got Lily's route done. Awesome. I don't think I'll be doing the bad endings, because it will take too much time anyway. Yes. Oh. That was very emotional. If I was playing by my own, I would... I don't know what I would do. I definitely shed a tear or two. 3 maybe, 4. Let's say 4. I lost count probably. Wow. For now, the best ending so far. For the roots, every route is nice on its own. And for now, Lily best girl. Though, but by this little. By this little. Well, if I need to rank the girls, unfortunately, I would put Ren last. I don't know. She's funny sometimes, but she feels very distant. So I would say, for now, Lily, Amy, and Ren. I will see the others, of course. Okay, we played 3 hours, but we completed the route. Next time we'll do... I don't know. Rin. Yeah, I forgot the name. I remember there is a R and an N at the end. The rest, who knows. Okay. Next time we might do... Well, we're thinking to choose. All the 3 girls are very interesting. Can we do... We might do a... Oh, we can do the pool here. Since we are already here. Hanako, Shizune, Misha. I would say Yuki, but that would be the only... Sure, let's say Yuki here. Also, I'm bad with names. Was it you? Listen, let's leave it out. Okay, we have the voting. It will not be the definitive answer, but I will probably follow the suggestion, because every girl is best girl here. Okay. In the meantime, let's see who we can raid. I don't want to raid Blob twice. Oh well. We can raid Faridiuni. Since well, Faridiuni played once the one of my games, so that's how I discovered it. I discovered them. Okay, while for the voting, let's see. Hanako is the result. Okay, I'm definitely approving. Every girl though is the right answer. So Hanako is a good choice. Awesome. So thanks again for coming by, and we'll see ya whenever happens.